So I'm going to be honest. I'm already feeling a little bit on the defensive and cautious and careful because I was just expressed feelings of complimentary emotion from one of my co-hosts, which usually puts me on the back foot there, Joseph, because we're much better at sort of cracking on each other than anything kind. So I'm guessing the crack is coming, so to speak. Yeah, other than that, I don't really have anything intro related other than I got to talk to I'm just going to put this out there. I got to talk to Robert and Lenny. I briefly mentioned it upstairs.
Yeah.
Former members of Shattered Cast, and we kind of talked about like the rise and fall of Shattered Cast.
I love Shattered Glass.
Yeah. Well, so
how many shirts did you sell because people thought it said Shattered?
I don't know, but it was definitely, I had to explain it a lot at cons.
I remember that for sure. Yeah.
But I will say this, that it was a good conversation. It's going to be on Patreon, of course, because it's a little too personal to just put out there publicly. But it was a good conversation, and it brought back a lot of memories. And it's good, like it's good to talk to those dudes again. Mm-hmm. And and a funny story. We talked about the origins of the name Shattered Cast, mm-hmm. and it's actually Laura came up with it. It was Laura's name, and then we added. This is a brief spoiler, but we added the uncut just because SC didn't sound good.
SCU.
But SCU sounded okay, and we thought if we ever did merch, we could do like college shirts as like a university, and and that was like part of the reason why uncut got thrown in.
Man, you guys should have sued some wrestlers because there's a SCU wrestling clique. It's SoCal Uncensored. Yeah.
Would you pass me my coffee, Joseph? Here you go. Thank you.
Your black coffee.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Bobby. I know you've been. There's a rapper named Sugar Free.
Yeah.
Well, familiar.
And just to be fair, because that was part of the confusion last week. Processed sugar free.
Okay.
So,
gotcha. So you're not okay. So you've been drinking historically, as long as I've known you. You've been a coffee mate.
Yeah.
You've been a coffee mate. Blimey, it's coffee mate.
Coffee mate comment. It all works.
It
coffee
does.
mate.
So you make your coffee with your coffee mate.
Yeah.
Bars. How have you enjoyed black coffee?
Hate it.
Okay. Hate it to the point where you're dying to put something in it?
Well, like so to
speak.
So
some thick cream.
Here's the
processed
thing.
or unprocessed.
It does when you deny yourself pleasures, you end up realizing what means the most to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, in the things that I miss, coffee and wine would be number one and number two.
Okay.
I've been drinking vodka.
So I have a question about that because I listened back to us last week mainly because I wanted to make sure I was processing this sugar conversation correctly. Tell me about. So you went from wine to vodka. That's a big swing. Like alcohol content. I mean, it's a huge swing. Right? So tell me how you're taking. Tell me what your prescription is for your vodka intake. Let's pretend it's the 1930s and Joe is like, "Yeah, you need 2 liters of vodka every day."
So I don't know. I'm usually like, it depends.
Is it just straight vodka, or are you putting soda water in it?
I drink it straight. But that's what I
drink. Drinking good vodka at least.
Yes,
what
I drink Belvedere. Belvedere is my vodka choice.
Sounds like it's on brand for you. Yeah. Tito's is the best vodka I've ever had.
So I've
tasted.
Yeah. So anyway, it depends because vodka is a different beast for me. Vodka is what I used to drink prior to wine.
I don't know hard liquor Bobby.
Yeah,
I know wine Bobby.
Yeah. So I used to drink. If I drank brown, it was usually a Crown and Coke.
Okay.
And if I wasn't that, it was a fifth of vodka straight, and I used to drink the fifth. In my roaring 20s, Joseph,
drink a fifth.
When I used to bring a.
Are we
fifth.
talking about like a plastic handle of Admiral, or you drinking Belvedere back then? Okay.
I used to bring a fifth of Belvedere to the party, and the fifth was done by the time I was gone.
Like out the bottle, or you
out the bottle?
You're not even savage, bro.
Yeah, but that was in my 20s.
Did you have a bandana tied around it? Just I'm curious.
No.
Did you think about it?
Then you couldn't see it.
Did you ever try it on? Did you ever try a bandana on just see what it looked like?
It's funny to think, but it was like like a $40 fifth, and that was a flex at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is strange to think about, but yeah, I tried Grey Goose and Armadale and a lot of like these other ones that were around at the time. Ciroc, my wife likes Ciroc. It's not really for me, but I can drink it. But
is Jay still making money off Belvedere? Is he?
No, he never had anything. He had Armadale. That was his.
Who didn't somebody?
No, but Beanie Siegel used to drink it. Like that's where I saw him with the bottle, and I was like, that shit looks hard with the house behind the glass and everything. And I was like, I'll try it. And I was like, I like this. But then they had a lot of the other ones had. Well, yeah, I mean, and a lot of it, like Grey Goose had the same thing with like the goose that was like.
So what? So let me ask you guys this. So how impactful is packaging on an alcohol to make you? Because I'll tell you, like I
don't think it's just alcohol. I think it's on everything.
So let's just stick with alcohol for this part of this conversation. So I buy you guys a bottle of wine 3-4 times a year, and I honestly, like, I know you like a cab, so I try to find a cab with an interesting label. Like, I think the last one I brought over had some sort of like monster theme thing going. I don't even remember it. I just remember it was cool. Yeah, I just always look for cool labels. Hopefully it's not garbage wine.
It's 100%. It's 100%. We have 2 methods that we use for picking bottles.
Boxes.
No. Hold on, look, I'm trying to keep me.
Oh, milk that bladder, baby, milk that bladder.
So our
Bobby's over here like, come on, Betsy, give a little wine squirt.
Our box,
you doing that for Farmer John, Bobby?
Our box were pretty much set, but we do venture out, like. I like cab is my favorite type of wine. Yeah. But like in the summer when it's hot and shit, like a cold white is like more refreshing than obviously like a dark red.
That was my name in high school.
Cold white.
Because I'd be chilling.
Yeah. But
because Vanilla Ice was taken. So
yeah. But so anyway, like I like a Sauvignon Blanc in the summer or whatever. But for the bottles we always go for like, does the label look cool? Check. All right, we like the label, and then we have like the app that we put in our scores of all the other previous ones, and then we compare it. And if it's like an 8 or better, then we get it.
Well, can't no wine fuck with Death Rizzo.
If surprisingly, it was pretty high.
I still get ads for that all the time, like Facebook ads for that Snoop Dogg wine.
I mean, I used to collect bottles as a thing. So having different and interesting bottles meant more.
So collecting bourbon and whiskey is a huge thing. Like I was at my work event. People were like, I got 250 bottles of bourbon. I'm like, I got 250 action figures.
Yeah, bourbon is specifically huge.
I love bourbon.
I do too.
Favorite. But I don't understand people who collect drinks and not drink it though.
Well, there's a huge
people collects, bottles, just bottles, not even empty bottles, just full ass bottles.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there's a huge secondary market for limited run liquor. Oh, like Pappy's is a brand that makes bourbon. They only make like 100 at a time. People like, stand in line to get it and shit.
It's funny. Crazy. It's funny you say that. I have a buddy of mine, Nick. You got. I don't know if you've ever met him, Joe, because he's been at Halloween parties. I'm not sure if he's been at the one that you came or 2 that you came to, but he. I'm trying to think who he was here. One year he came as like those 2 people that are like they wear like. They're like, it's like not Will and Grace, but it's like a nerd show, but it's not a nerd show.
Oh, Big Bang Theory?
Maybe he had like a Flash shirt on.
Yeah. That's Big Bang Theory. It's total nerd culture appropriation. My parents, sorry, sidebar. When I was down there, my parents were talking to my aunt about this, and my dad goes into his RV and pulls out DVD box sets of the entire show. He's like, I'm missing season 3. Like, well, I guess I know.
I feel like non-nerds love that show.
I guess
nerds
so.
Hate it.
It's so
it's nerd face.
It is.
So
that's what it feels like when I've seen it.
It is nerd face. All right, so Nick,
Ringworm Nick.
Okay,
the Lord of the Rings Uber. So he
forgot about
yeah. So he actually is like a huge bourbon nerd and like.
Oh, I think he called me out on something I thought was fancy. That he's like,
So he has like bourbon. He has bourbon parties.
They just hit me with the actually.
They just had like a kill the bottle party.
Oh wow!
Which is like if enough of these people in his group have like just a little bit of bourbon.
Yeah,
they all bring them over and they go. They just
that's a good idea.
But I'm telling you, it looked like.
Bourbon
it was insane the amount of bottles that were this thing. Anyway, I say all that to say this: we were talking like about like similarities between like that nerd world and our nerd world, and he was like, dude, he's like, you know what the biggest thing of the that ruins the fucking groups, like the bourbon.
Here we
groups?
go.
And I was like, what? And he's like, the pores.
Oh my god!
And I was like, it's funny they use that exact same lingo in like the other nerddom stuff, like the regular shit.
Man, the people can't afford it to talk about like the expensive bourbon being too expensive and overpriced, and it's just mine is just as good. And
Robert and I started calling them brokies.
Well, I mean, transversely, there's an entire
transversely.
Wow, transversely. See what I did there?
Holy shit,
man, we're on fire today. Mm-hmm. There's a whole scene of bargain bourbon, chasers, so to speak. That is like, there's people on YouTube like, hey, it's bottom shelf. Is I don't know if it's a shelf. Bottom shelf for like $10-15 for a handle. Yeah, I mean it's. I don't know.
I know it goes up to like a few $100.
I'm sure it's serviceable and it's probably great well drink. Like if you're having mixed drinks or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like anywhere but around 50 to 100 is like normal.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't really know,
but like people like a Billy full of figures. I'm sure there's people with like Billies full of bottles.
Yeah, I would guess, or something similar. Maybe like a liquor cabinet,
or maybe it's the same thing as you spent $200 on this bottle of liquor, but the thought of paying $70 for a fucking shelf to put them in, it's like, I just can't afford a shelf.
I want to see motherfuckers with alcohol in the goddamn Detolf.
Hey,
I bet you there is.
Speaking of
risers.
Speaking of Detolfs, I've seen it happen like in videos. I've never seen it in person. Mike Kincaid had a Detolf panel shatter on him, just out of the blue.
What is it?
He had a side panel,
like the tampered glass.
The glass exploded on the Detolf.
Huh.
I saw
it happens. It happens.
I saw some. I think.
I wonder if it's like tightened too hard, because I know there's no like.
That's what everybody
there's no stopping
said.
Point on it, like you can tighten it or loosen it as you want.
Somebody said in the comments, it might have been Dust said. He said, Detolf 2's coming soon, so all these are just going to explode slowly over the next couple years.
Bro, there'll be so many. Holy shit.
Man, I've carried a Detolf assembled from Maryland. Well, they moved from Alabama, all 8 of them. And then I took one to Atlanta. When we went to that show down there I put it in there and I stacked it. I loaded it full of stuff. I didn't put anything heavy in there, but like dioramas and some other soft stuff in there. And then we carried it up to New Jersey. And
I remember.
I mean, my worst fear now that I'm saying.
Some went to Chicago, for one of those cons out there. I remember somebody from this area took a Detolf out there to set up. Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
A lot of these.
I want to say I bought one.
Oh, and brought it back
and took it there to set up. And
and left it there or something.
I don't remember bringing it back. Maybe we did. I don't know. That was a long.
Not for that deserves a.
I mean, it's a $70 shelf.
That's just my Chicago Detolf.
That's right.
Yeah. But that's fucking sturdy.
To circle back to packaging, though, it's everything with me. Like, I was talking to Robert on the phone this morning. And we were talking about these pop-up companies, right? These third-party pop-up companies that are doing one-off figures and then disappearing, or some are doing multiples, but they all have these KO vibes. Metagate is one, and then there's 1,000 different ones with trans there's trans mech, trans art, trans rights, whatever the fuck it is, whatever the fuck it is, right? But there's something about it that immediately puts in your head that something is off with it.
Like in a plastic bag.
And it's but it's the packaging. And it's like the cardboard feels thinner. Like the trays feel like they hold their shape less, and it just automatically puts you on this wrong foot of what to expect from it.
Yeah.
Sometimes right and sometimes wrong.
Was it Generations? It's Generations Toys and Transformations. They have the best fucking boxes. They're like luxury boxes.
They felt like you were buying designer shoes or something.
I'll tell you, of all the packaging that I've seen lately, I like that. I guess it's open cell foam. It's just the foam with the cutouts. Man, that is
that's Generation Toy,
right? But it's the squishy kind of foam.
Yeah.
And
you have the closed lid, and then there's a sleeve with art.
And it was some of the lids were magnetized, and they had the embroidered name on the box. That was in gold or silver. Really well done. To be fair, I mean, some of it, even the shoes and stuff, I love when I get a pair of shoes that you and Tyler hate, I love.
It's not that we hate them.
I love the seal of the box and opening up the
Mm-hmm.
seal, and then the shoes are in their own bags, and you open up the bags.
Yeah.
It's just a whole.
It's an experience,
right?
Exactly.
XM statues. They have the cardboard with the straps on the inside. The foam with the straps on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But sometimes it's they can be overboard too, though. Magic the Gathering is overboard, and I'm just man, there's more cardboard on this box than the cardboard you're selling me.
And
and you charging me way too much for this box.
I mean, the other side of that, let's say Fans Toy says, hey, here's our figure with the premium packaging. It's $270 or however much they charge. If you just want it in a cardboard box, with limited frou bullshit, it's $200. I mean, whatever.
I like the option.
Yeah, I know it's just twice as much work for them, but
Do you think people collect like box wines, like stacks of box wines?
I doubt it.
Like a wall.
I don't think it's the right demographic.
Like new. What, am I mint sealed in box wine?
I think one person does. Me.
there you go.
and to be fair, yeah, I'm very fluid with it. Well, I have been, not in these 3 weeks, but in the past.
I do have the world's largest collection of two things that I'm aware of. Constable Zuvio figure.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Ollies.
And X-Trans bought Ollies.
Do you know
I got another one at NJCC, actually.
I saw some post that you made sometime. It was like because Zuvio ended up being in one of these shows or something, and you were like, "Who's laughing now?
Yes, who's laughing now? The investment's off." So to tell you a funny story. So Mythic Legions, I know Bobby's favorite toy line. They do
Cystic Legion.
Sure. They do All Stars, which is cool. You know, like, hey, here's old stuff. Here's, you can vote on them. And somebody changed the vote to all Zuvios. And I posted a video of my little box through there. I was like, I think I'm good on the Zuvios. I appreciate it, though.
Dude, I forget who it was, but somebody, and I've talked about it here before, so forgive me, but somebody had this great troll run where like people were complaining that there was no Luke Skywalker figure. I think it was that there's no Luke Skywalker figure from The Force Awakens. And this guy like created this whole thing. It was like a bullshit article, but it like ended up catching. It was like The Onion, but for toys. And it was like studies have shown that characters with limited screen time now do not get toys made because they don't tend to sell as well. This is really what we call the Zuvio effect.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "You can't compare Luke Skywalker with fucking Zuvio," and like they were taking it off.
That's great. I always put hashtag Zuvio Army, hashtag We Are Zuvio. So if you ever look those hashtags up, I'm sure you'll find my ignorant ass.
Before
I still have like a fucking talking about mint sealed in box. I still haven't opened a rock box yet that I bought from you.
Oh man,
I wonder how much that's going for with that purple fucking Ollie.
$1 million, man. $1 million.
Before we get into Nerd Weeks, I do want to say last week I meant to shout out a GoFundMe. For those of you that know Shoki, somebody in his life is going through something. It's not really my business to speak about too much in terms of the details, but if you're interested, the link for that is in the description. It is the top note. And with that being said, Chris, you got your coffee first.
Yep.
Joe, how was your Nerd Week?
It's my last week here.
Ever.
Could be.
You're just going to stay in Japan?
It's in the Lord's hands, really.
They have pharmacies. They have pharmacies and streaming in Japan.
I mean, places can crash. I don't know. Earthquakes can happen.
Yeah, sure.
Giant lizards out of the sea.
Giant lizards. Yeah. Well,
that's right.
Yes.
Top 5 monsters.
Some smarter than others.
Nuclear plants that can.
Exactly.
Yep.
Any of that shit. So
the smoke monster.
This is the last time I'm here till I come back.
Until the middle of June, right?
Yeah. Is it that long?
That's 3 weeks, bro. Hold on.
Dude. I'm impressed that you guys are doing that long of a tour. I mean, it makes sense to go over there, and by the time you get there, I'm here a week. Well, if you take a week's vacation, it's 2 days, 4 days travel, so you're there for 3 days. Yeah, it makes sense to stay as long as you can.
It's got to be at least a full 10 days.
Do
you have plans for this evening?
Do I have plans for this? I don't think so.
It's it would be your last chance to see a
athletic endeavor.
Yeah, softball game.
Oh yeah, Where is it? Is it around here or is it out?
I don't know. You can ride with us if you want.
Okay, cool.
Shorty want to ride with me.
I want to talk to Chris.
No pressure. Because it's a shit show,
Is it?
I mean, of course it is.
Is it a comedy?
They're 10-year-olds playing softball.
I mean, 10-year-olds are pretty competent.
I mean, it's not. It's not a disaster, but I mean, it's
from what I've seen on the clips, it looks. Yeah, I mean,
they hit and make plays and shit, but they make a ton of errors, And you'll see me act like a lunatic.
do you act like a lunatic at the ref for making wrong calls or not making calls because it was too lenient?
So it's funny. It's not in my notes, but I did have. So
see.
So this past game, and so they played there. They lost, but they fought, and it was a really one of the best teams in our rec. And Selena swung and missed, right? And the ball hit the catcher's glove and then rolled onto the ground. And she kicked the ball because her temper is much like her father's.
Yes.
And the umpire said something to her, and he would have been right, but I wasn't trying to hear it at the moment. So then I lost, and I was like, "What'd you say?" And he was like, "I'm just telling her to calm down, Dad. I'm just telling her to calm down." And I was like, "Okay, all right." That fucking looks like maybe I should calm down too.
That guy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, she's high-headed, What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'll be gone from 19th to the 6th. But I mean, I can record when the week I come back if it's on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday because I'm.
Yeah, we'll work that out.
Yeah, we'll play it.
Yeah, so I'll be gone for at least 2 weeks, if not 3, if not forever. But I've been watching anime, catching up on some anime because like we've watched all the YouTube.
Riveting.
Shit. Yeah, lovely.
Jaina's starting a new one. It's like toilet bowl something. I don't know. It's some wild ass.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
What does it tell me about? I would watch it.
Well, I just
Toilet Bound.
yeah, I remember the name because it's so out there.
I mean, there's a book called Everybody Poops. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but but teenagers aren't checking it out.
I think that's
Specific right tool for the right job.
Fucking just a low. What you call low investment like showtimes.
Yeah.
Watch all of Campfire Cooking in Another World. Like that's good, wholesome fun. I would suggest it to any of your kids actually.
Okay.
it's Toilet Bound Hanako Kun.
Yep. That one.
I'll look at it. What's it about? Like little kids and shit.
I don't know. Mostly it seems to be about collecting pops because that's what pulled up when I typed it in.
Yeah.
Or maybe it looks like they got me with the Funko.
So like I like the genre called genre called isekai a lot. It's just like people get whisked into another world and have adventures. It's overdone just as much like zombies is in the West. Isekai is overdone in anime in the East. That's
Right.
a fucking dime a dozen. But I just like that genre, so I don't care. But this one is set up differently in that like usually it's like a lot of times it's a group of people get fucking sucked up from a high school and brought into like a video game or fantasy like world, and they're like, you're the chosen ones, you gotta be heroes, you got some special abilities, you gotta go fight, and they do it. But this one is about one character who's like special ability has nothing to do with fighting. It's like inventory. It's all inventory shit, and he can still
like he's what's his name? Mise en place. You don't know Mise en place?
No.
Really? All those cooking shows you watch?
no
Mise en place is
Means
like
everything has its place.
Yeah, it's
yes.
like a French thing for the chefs. Like,
Yeah.
Bro, do you even sous chef, bro?
like you,
and I don't
before you start a meal, you're supposed to set up your mise en place. Like,
okay
Everything has
interesting.
Its
I don't
It's
watch
funny.
stuff with subtitles.
Adam Savage.
Unless it's Japanese.
Adam Savage has a version of that for your workshop,
I'm like that with my
which
workshop.
I wish I had.
Yeah, because like you don't have to ask me for your fucking tape measure.
You know where it was? One of the 12 places I looked a dozen times. My wife walked and moved one thing and like, it's right here.
yeah.
That's it.
And then I immediately lost
I
it
have
again.
2 tape measures in every level of my house, and I know exactly where they are.
And then what I wanted to measure, I lost interest in measuring it by the time I found it.
Whoever draws out there to create a anime hero chef named Mise en place.
it would fly.
Yeah.
But so like he's like, I don't really like to fight, and I don't have any fucking interest in being a hero. So like
The reluctant hero.
yeah, but he's not though. The kingdom was the threats. People was like, that's fine. Like we're here to fight. We're good. And then they like the people who summoned him gave him some money. Like you can just like hang out till we figure out what to do with you. And he fucks up and becomes like a chef. And the show is about him being a chef, cooking like wild ass shit in another world while like avoiding the fights.
There you go.
I'm like,
man, it's like I mean, the military has chefs too. You know,
That's right.
that's true.
somebody's got to keep them going.
Someone's got to wash the dishes.
Actually, I don't think we use them much anymore because we just subcontract out to other companies that charge us a fucking $12 for a can of Coke on the backs of the taxpayer, while the poor military chef who wants to cook for the troops has to sit there and watch it. But story for another day.
Okay, listen. He gets to sit on a half pallet of $100 bills when he's doing it because the money means nothing anymore.
Yeah, it's all subcontract anyway. Like we don't own a lot of our military equipment. Like when I was on, I don't know if I'm talking about, but like even parts of things, like parts of military equipment doesn't belong to the military itself. Like the reduction gear on a submarine, like maybe the military own a submarine, but like the reduction gear, as far as I know, doesn't belong to the military. So like, I don't even know what that means. Can you imagine like one part of your car, like your fuel pump, doesn't belong to you? You bought the car, but the fuel pump is somebody else's. That's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I agree.
Some like BMW is charging like if you want to do your wireless remote stuff.
Yeah.
it's a subscription charge for some things now
Amazing.
around the world.
Microtransaction?
Yeah, like you can open up your like if you're I'm not sure this is correct, but for example, like you in Germany and you want to go on the Autobahn, well, you got to pay a fee to be able to go faster than $1.20 or what to unlock your.
That's that DLC. That
I know,
Autobahn
right?
DLC.
It's literally like the world
Did they
is
learn
turning
it from
into
video
DLC.
game
They
companies?
did, of course.
I feel like they learned it from
it's
video game
pay to
companies.
play, baby, pay to play.
We have an Autobahn in America. Did you know that?
What? See, $6.95.
No,
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Depends on the hour.
70 maybe, but not 60.
Yeah, 70 motherfuckers.
Definitely.
Dig in.
I never go lower than 90 on that bitch.
I don't go lower than 85. But you know what? It's just
Round it up, bro. Round it up.
Those are 70. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. But that is a highway for professional commuters.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
motherfuckers going to work and coming home from work, and that's it.
If that's traffic, someone fucked up.
And that, is it 29 when you turn to go to Columbia?
Yep.
That's all. If I'm coming from Baltimore or further, it's always right there. It's like, you motherfuckers. It isn't that hard.
Yeah.
Get over.
Well, because Columbia now is like a city in itself.
It's amazing.
But I was gonna say that the Autobahn is in Montana, and it's like it's on the.
Oh, I
I
had
thought it
heard
would be in
that.
Texas.
Yeah,
Sounds like
yeah.
something Texas would have.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem wrong for Montana either. To be fair,
Yeah.
It doesn't seem wrong for anything or nothing to be in Montana.
But
in Montana?
All of the states that I've never been to, my entire knowledge of them is based off of the puzzle map that I had as a child.
Yes.
And it was a rancher out in Montana. So
That's
in my
it.
head, it's like, that's what goes on out there.
Well, we've talked about this
slice
before.
of cheese for Wisconsin. That's all I think
Idaho's
about.
potatoes.
Right? Iowa is. Yep. So I didn't think Iowa was a
Alabama's
real
banjo.
place.
Nebraska was corn.
It's fair. Yeah, Nebraska's
Maryland's a
corn.
crab, probably.
Well,
Can't remember.
see all the you just had. I when I was at my parents'
was
house.
separate.
Okay, maybe it's some weird Maryland shit.
Hold on.
When I was at my folks' house last week, I found that puzzle map that we had as a kid, and it's got Pennsylvania and Maryland are one piece.
Oh,
That's
it's
bullshit.
And then
sometimes
and
the whole
then-
north
Well,
part,
that's
like-
it. And then everything else, New York and all the little states. So
All that was separate on mine.
I had no.
That's
man,
wild.
Man,
I
y'all
haven't
out
seen
here
that.
flexing in these streets.
Usually the two triangle ones, is it like New Hampshire and Vermont?
Vermont.
They're
and-
usually one square.
And those two used to eat me up as a kid,
You don't
figuring
know.
out which one went where.
Man, we should. I don't want to do it right now, but we should do a state capitals test and see if.
Oh my god!
I
it'd be
can't do
horrible.
capital.
I
I
don't-
can probably do states better than most Americans.
I can name all the states.
Like, I can name the states.
Not name, but
Oh.
like know where they are. People, motherfuckers, don't know where
I know
North
in
and South
general.
in Maryland.
I get
generally.
confused like all those square ones. You know, South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana.
New
well, you know,
England.
North is
They're
above
all
South.
there.
At least there's that.
New England fucks me up.
I know the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy in the middle. I showed you guys. People don't know what I'm talking about. It's a little chef that's
He's
holding
holding the skillet,
a tray, and it's, Kentucky is the fucking chicken. It's like, bro, that's fucking
Meta.
That's how you know that's God.
Do you know why all those shapes or all those states are squares out there?
Tell me.
The invention of barbed wire.
Yes. Okay, I'd
So when
heard that
peop-
before.
So when people started using barbed wire fences to like border off their land and shit, when they started creating states, they went by the barbed wire fences, and that's why they're all square out there.
Wow.
And there's
Whereas-
no I think the Colorado River's out there, but there's no big river to divide anything up either.
Yeah, I've confused a lot of times as to why borders are the way they are.
Yeah.
Like in the states, at least countries, you know, they follow the borders.
The
but
only
in the
reason
States,
why I
it's
know
like-
that is I don't know. History Channel did like a 4 or 6 part documentary on America one time before they started probably doing Honey Boo Boo Lives Again or whatever. They
Lives again like a monster.
Yeah, so it was like the man who built America, and they did a whole bunch of
like the
those were really
Rockefellers
good.
and shit. Yeah. That was but that's like one thing my brain picked up from there was that barbed wire shit. That it was like, well, we'll take this with Pushnickens and we're on our way. You know?
What I remember from that and several other shows they did, it's like I guess back then when there wasn't a lot to do, people just stared out the window because anytime they'd show John Rockefeller was making big decisions for the country, and it's just showing him peering out the window. So anytime I'm like, just looking out the window, Kelly's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Just get my Rockefeller."
Yeah.
Just thinking about things.
And you know what he did when he looked out the window?
What did he do?
Put up the diamond and went, "It's the Rock."
That's right. Rockefeller, y'all.
Yeah. Continue.
I don't even know. Oh, shit. Oh, wait, right.
Campers.
Get here. Yeah, camper. Yeah, but yeah, campfire. Campfire. Well, if you like anime or you at all, and you like just like low key something background noise or just something wholesome, that's a good recommend. That was a part timer in an anime. I really loved part 1. It came out like
I remember
10 years
that.
ago. Yeah,
I remember that.
Season 2 came out like last year, I think.
I can
Which
tell
is
you-
crazy. 8 years after season 1.
He's working overtime in my life. He's on overtime. He's not a part timer at all.
On your show, is it on your back all the time?
He's around every corner.
Every quarter.
Got a devil in you.
Yeah.
So I watched
White devil.
all of season 1 and 2 because Krista, she's like a fucking fish with her memory. It's just like you. It's great. It's like,
it's always new.
It's like, yeah, it's new. We're watching season 1. It's like we stopped here, right? We're at episode 6 out of 13. It's like no, we kept going. So I don't remember anything after this. I'm like, wow.
So like movies and stuff, I remember it as I watch it. So I'll be like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like, but like books, it's like the first time every time for the most part. I could because I choose to remember with.
So maybe you have already read Croissant Nights, you just don't remember. You should go with that.
Just tell me that, Bobby.
Want to take them back?
Save my feelings.
But I'll remember, I'll lock in my head. I'm like, remember this part because it's good for conversation to tell if you're going to talk about this character. This is a good part to talk about. But then the rest of it, my brain takes all of the information of what I just read and says good, great, or bad. And then it files it away under it so that when I look at a book, I can be like, oh yeah, that's good. You should read that. What's it about? I'm not 100%, but I can tell you that's one of the good ones. You know, Pooch Niggas is not in it.
So yes, we watched all of season 1 and then watched season 2. Season 2 is not good as season 1, but it's still good enough to watch. And apparently season 3 is coming out like next month. I didn't even know. So which like we binge anime sometimes, or like just low key shit.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you really?
You don't like to just.
Yeah, I don't really like to.
Yeah, most people do though.
Yeah, I think most people.
Just some low effort stuff to like just entertain.
I think most. So I thought about this recently. I don't have. I think most people, right? Like remember when Michael Keaton was trying to explain to Vicky Vale that he was Batman and he was doing a terrible job of it. That's kind of how I feel right now. Where he's like, how a normal guy gets up and kisses his wife and goes to work and. You know what I'm talking about? And she's like, no. That's kind of how I feel now. But like a normal guy, right, comes home and he, drops his lunch pail off and grabs the remote and cracks a beer and turns on the TV, and it's just kind of ambient noise like in the background. Like that's not part of my life at all.
I mean, that's not part of my life either.
I'm not saying that it is, but I feel like it is for many people.
Yes, yeah, just putting the game on or whatever.
So like by the time that I'm putting something on, I'm ready to invest 100% attention for one. With the exception of a documentary. That's like the one thing I can let roll in the background and listen to and get enough of an idea about. And it's usually like, we've had dinner, we put the kids to bed, the whole bit. So now it's like 8 o'clock at night. I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning. I sleep like a fucking tyrant. So it's all over the place. And then I gotta I gotta fight my way through an hour and a half of footage in order to stay awake. And most of the time I fail. I think that's a big part of why I don't consume as much media as most people.
Okay. Yeah. No, I have a good amount of time to consume media, but because there's a variety of media I watch, so like I don't want to just be fucking heavily invested.
Is it a variety, or is it anime and horror movies?
Maybe. I mean, variety and activities I do with my off time. I have a lot of off times, right. But like this variety of activities I like to do, and not just watch stuff. But yeah, I mean, even in anime, it's different tiers, right? As you even whether you like it or not, you understand there's different tiers of anime with investment. So like
it's like how much you cry. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Different tiers.
Yes. Yeah. Like with One Piece, that's a lot of tiers.
Yeah.
But yeah. You want to get into a 900 episode series? Or like a 12 episode.
Hey, I'm crying already.
or a 12 episode series, or like a fucking 3-hour movie.
Right,
it's all different. But I don't know. Also, like Krista doesn't like to be heavily invested. Sometimes she has to be in the mood for it.
Right.
So like, and it's not ever background noise. It's always stuff like I'm enjoying actively. Background noise is when I'm working on shit.
Right.
Play some Diablo 4 beta, open beta. I
heard that was
I
up.
actually got the beta key back with a double down in KFC.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. What? Huh? The KFC double down when they re-released the sandwich, there was a Diablo 4 tie-in to get the beta code?
Yes. He knows exactly what I'm talking about, though. Did you understand any of those words, Bobby?
Not a word.
Tell me.
I know there's a Diablo game as a first-person shooter.
Third-person shooter.
Is it a third-person shooter?
Eight-person shooter? I don't know. I've never played a Diablo game.
That'll be a no. I don't think so. Because Diablo is not a shooter.
Okay, I've never played a Diablo game.
Which is fine. But Diablo 4, yes.
I like the Diablo sauce at Taco Bell, but they discontinued it.
Is it?
I'm looking it up.
Is it better than Fire?
It has more flavor. Actually, the verde sauce they had was amazing, and they did away with the green sauce. It was great.
Oh, really? I didn't remember because I know about the flavor part. I need like 3 packets per fucking taco.
I get so mad. Like Mason will get Taco Bell, and I'm like, "You didn't get any sauce? You didn't get any sauce?" And he will. You didn't tell me. He was like, "Bro, it's just part of it.
Yeah,
give me hot sauce every time."
Like it's not just like a few packs. You take your hand, you stick it in the bucket, and you grab the fucking.
I guess I just thought it was a first person shooter from his packaging.
Oh, packaging! Here we go again.
Like the cover art and stuff. I was
really,
like,
yeah. It's like a medium game
because I feel like it came out around the same time, like a lot of like Quake and a lot of these other.
Yes,
like
1994 or 1997.
Yeah, like and a lot of the shit where I was like, all right, first person shooter, just another first person. In my head, just looking at the cover,
I've never played any. But is it fun? Are you enjoying it?
No, yes.
So what do they give you on the beta? They give you like 2-3 levels, or
no? You get to play as much as you want.
Oh, really?
Well, the original one with the double down is just to test.
I'm sorry, this is so ridiculous.
Not only have you have to get the app on your phone for KFC and order the thing to get the code.
That's the only way to get the Big Mac sauce packs at McDonald's is through the app.
Exactly. We actually ordered McDonald's. Like Chris downloaded a bunch of fucking like food apps.
Yeah.
Because apparently there's a lot of deals and shit.
There is. Taco Bell has stuff on the menu you can only get through the apps.
I used to get excited when the coupon comes in with
the circular,
the
shiny circular,
or the penny saver
with the Parade magazine on Sunday.
But like it's like sometimes a dilemma because like there's coupons on both sides and it's like, oh man, the same coupon is
do I want Arby's or Captain D's? Which one do I want?
I don't think I've ever cut a coupon in my life, but I remember my dad doing it with his fucking spectacles sitting on the edge of his nose.
What about
that's
you never used the Bed Bath & Beyond?
I would rip one out if I like it, but I've definitely seen people cut out every fucking coupon.
He didn't cut every
Sunday.
one, just
extreme coupon.
If he thought he could use it, and we definitely took them bitches to Red Lobster.
Hell yeah, dude, Cheddar Bay, baby, Cheddar Bay,
Deep Sea Applebee's,
yeah, Pizza Hut, whatever the fuck, you know.
Yeah,
ate like kings, Joseph.
But so that was, and I like the double down. It's salty as fuck, but I like it. But they already took it away. Well, this your local KFC, by the way, is the one I go to.
Sorry, it sucks.
I love it.
You know what's crazy?
We both love it.
You know what's crazy?
Tell me.
It's a Taco Bell KFC. You can use a mobile order for KFC, but you can't use it for Taco Bell.
Because
it's so crazy.
It's Taco Bell. I don't know.
They're not synced. You got to sync them.
That's right. I have to say. Maybe it's only on iPhone. Maybe I need to step my game.
Maybe.
But yeah, I've never ordered online McDonald's in my life till like recently. But that's all we do now. And
yeah, I mean, I use the app all the time. I get points, baby.
Yeah,
free Big Macs,
free shit
bacon,
all the
egg,
time.
and cheese.
You look confused, Bobby.
Yeah, I'm not. Because
you're not an app guy.
When's the last time you had McDonald's?
It's been probably 20 years.
No shit.
He might die if you have one.
It's been about 20 minutes for me.
I'm trying to think when the last time I had
McDonald's yesterday.
Well, when I have fast food, it's usually. Well, we don't consider like Chipotle in that.
That's fast. That's fast casual.
Okay, so
I'm serious. It's a different category. Like that goes with like Panera bread and things like that.
Okay. Yeah. You could sit down. But you're going to take out.
We'll leave that in Five Guys, that sort of stuff out of it, and just go for strictly like chain fast food.
Chain fast food.
I only really eat at
Chick-fil-A
and Popeyes.
Okay, that's fair. I love me some Wendy's too. Wendy's is great.
I don't have Wendy's. Right?
So actually, Wendy's
there's really not one, but
Wendy's would be like bottom tier for me.
No shit.
Yeah, never been a fan.
Usually with the top. It's Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's. Those are like the numbers.
Yes, in terms of like
Wendy's is bottom. It's McDonald's, then Burger King, and Wendy's.
Dude, Burger King's on the bottom for me, man.
See, I like Burger King.
I like the fries, and they have French toast sticks, which I love.
I love their breakfast, but like my family does not like Burger King at all for any capacity.
Yeah, I like the flame.
And they have
broil.
See, I burp that shit out. That fake fake smoke. Yeah,
a fake smoke. He loves fake smoke. He's sucking.
This is true.
He's not sucking on fake smoke today. He's not sucking on fake smoke. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's behind the cup. I couldn't see a giant coffee mug.
Yeah, relax.
But yeah, I fucking love McDonald's. Anyway, I love the double down. It's 2 pieces of fried chicken with bacon and cheese in the middle. What's not to like about it? I don't understand. Are you American or not?
No, why are you looking at me?
Because you said you don't like it.
I've had it
Bobby's
before.
just weird. I don't fucking fault him for
it's
not
just too
liking
much of
anything.
the same thing to me.
I love McDonald's. I love Burger King.
Do you like the double down? Have you had a double down?
I never had, because I never really fucked with KFC. If I was going to get fried chicken, I'd always go to Popeyes. And then I love Checkers. I love
Checkers is like top tier for me.
Checkers is good shit too.
Checkers is good.
I hardly ever have it, but it's good.
I love a lot of fast food. I just know I can't eat that shit like that.
Yeah.
Because like it's like feast or famine.
Yeah, because when I go, like I come back with like $50. Dude, I have to have a list. I don't know. Anyone else here have like fucking drive-through blackouts?
No, I always get the same thing.
Unless it's pre-ordered online.
What do you like if you go to
McDonald's?
If you go to McDonald's, what do you get?
I start naming shit off the menu, and I come home with $50, literally $50 worth of McDonald's. I don't know why that happens to me.
So you don't have like a set thing you order when you
No,
go?
I like all of it. Give me all
That
one of everything.
motherfucker Dante, back in the day, used to come over to the world like and show up with like 20 hamburgers and 20 cheeseburgers.
Bro.
And just sit there at the table and go to work.
Do you remember when they did those it might have been during this time. They were doing promos. You could get it was like 15 cents. It was like some throwback thing.
I don't remember
15
that. I remember
cheese,
when
but it was like $1 for a cheeseburger. So we just go buy. We would just go buy cheese.
242.
Yeah, I remember
the
that.
242 was crazy.
Yeah.
Or there was one time when they were like $4 for like 20 nuggets. I think they just had too much nuggets. It was going to expire.
Yeah.
But it was like $4 for 20 nuggets.
Spicy nuggets are back.
Are they? I don't know. But I don't know how we got on this fucking.
Yeah.
Mickey's.
So.
Double Down, because Double Down and Diablo.
Double Down Diablo.
Yes. I'm trying to now keep track of what happens on this show, because a lot of times I find myself like, how do we get
I thought
here?
that's how Ricky was doing that. Hi, Ricky.
Hi.
You make a great video out of our fast food fiasco here.
Did you see I put Ricky in a video recently?
No.
It's pretty funny. I'll show you afterwards.
All right.
Anyway, Diablo 4. I wasn't going to get it right at all.
Okay.
Because I don't really support Blizzard as a company, you know. But I've gotten Diablo 1, 2, 3, and all the expansions.
Okay.
Circa 1997 and 2012. But the Double Down got me. I was like, I'm gonna Double Down anyway. Let me get this free beta code. Downloaded it, never played it, didn't fucking care.
Yeah.
Even though I know I like that series.
I only get alpha codes. That's me.
That tracks, man. That tracks. Fuck. What's that smell? It's Bobby being an alpha.
That's me though, man. You know what I mean?
What's that musky smell?
So that first first beta, god damn it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You got a little me on your brain now.
Yo.
Wow.
There's a faucet outside. Let that sink in.
Off the rails.
You might want to roll your pants up.
As I was
Get
saying,
deep
this is
in
my
there.
last show.
I gotta give you something to tide you over.
Oh, man. It's really... I mean, listen, at this point, it's just sink or swim, Jay.
Fuck. So that first beta, and this is the fifth time I've ever said it, is to just see if the game works and
Okay.
for the public access. And this last weekend was the open beta for anyone without the Double Down to play.
Gotcha.
Dumb poor fuckers.
Right.
Brokies. Server slam. So like they're saying getting as many people as possible to play to see if their servers
They
work.
can
And it
support
fucking
it.
held up.
That's great.
Nice. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Like because it's a massively popular game.
Yeah.
I'm sure like hundreds of thousands of people were probably playing it. Maybe at least thousands. And no hiccups, no waits in the server queue. Everyone
great.
fucking got in and played. Yeah.
Good on him.
So CD Projekt Red was not involved.
No.
Gotcha.
No, but like and they're like making sure there's no, so far it seems they're making sure there's no pay to win mechanics in the game. There's microtransactions,
meaning
but you
somebody
can't buy
can't just
levels,
buy-
you can't buy
okay.
god gear,
Yeah.
but there's lots of like cosmetic shit you can buy.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm always good with that. Just don't like content lock shit just for the money. So like it seems good. It seems the best thing Blizzard's been doing for a while. So I'm probably gonna play. It comes out the day I come back from Japan, and I don't work the rest of that week. So
See you, Joe.
well, unless there's a show and
Sure.
I'm back if I decide to come back.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm.
Well, just
I'm
let us know.
Enjoying the fuck out. I enjoyed the fuck out. I only played for like 3 hours before they shut down, but it was good. Another game that's coming. I don't know, man. There's a lot of games coming out this year. I don't know how much I'll be available. Armor Core 6 is coming out.
Well, Armor Core 6.
Yeah, it's a mech game.
Oh, you didn't let me try.
No.
That's all right. We'll get the next one.
Did you get the next one? I forget. He's supposed to guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to assume this is some sort of like is Armor Core an online multiplayer game, or do you play just in your private group?
Both. I used to play by myself all the time.
All right, so this is you start out with some bullshit mech, and as you defeat other people, you can earn other armor and weapons and things of that. And is it that kind of game? And you craft stuff.
basically. But there is a good story mode to it. So I'm not sure what the story is going this time. Last one I did not like. I did not like 5 at all, but 1 through 4 was great. So I'm looking forward. It looks fucking fantastic. And then, of course, Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming out after that. And then, there's a lot of games coming out this year.
Yeah, there's a lot that I'm interested in, too.
If I created
Cyberpunk 2?
No,
Cyberpunk DLC?
Well, there's a DLC for that. There's the Expanse game supposed to come out this year.
I know you'll be
Telltale.
excited about that.
Telltale game, yeah, I'm excited.
Oh,
about
yeah,
that.
Is that in canon too? Is it? Oh, nice. You're gonna love that.
Kamina Drama.
Everything in the Expanse has been canon. I don't think there's been any like side.
They haven't done any non-canonical Bionicle Chronicles for the Expanse yet.
I just didn't know if they did because like, who would care if it was a video game or something and just have fun playing.
It's set between two things, and like the comic book that's out. It's canon.
Is it more like Clone Wars? Or is it more like Mandalorian?
Which one?
The game that's coming out.
Oh, I have no idea. Have you
find
guys
out.
ever played a Telltale?
Because you said there's things between things. It could be
right.
It could be one or the other.
You're right.
It can be Clone Wars or it can be Mandalorian.
Have you guys ever played a game from Telltale Studios?
I have seen them. I have not played myself.
I'll be honest with you. The one I played was a Batman game, and it was like
Batman.
you come to. It's kind of a choose your own adventure kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's like you want to climb the wall, or and you only have a certain amount of time. I'm not crazy about that mechanic, so I'm hoping it's a little bit different because there was a lot of other studios involved in this.
I think, I think that's what they're famous for, like the Walking Dead games.
I think it's this week. There's some sort of presser where they're gonna let people play it, and like one of the Facebook groups I'm in, believe it or not, is an Expanse group, and they're like, "Hey, what questions do you have for the for the developers about the game?" So hopefully we'll get some more info about it.
Have you found the Expanse fan group to be more sophisticated or just as much toxic?
It's actually not that bad. That
seems like it would be
now that everything's over. It's people asking questions mostly about the books and how they translate to because the books they're different, but you get to the same place through the 6 seasons as you do the 6 books.
Right,
but the stories are
questions. Does the TV series ends where the book ends?
Generically, yeah, at book 6. So there's 3 more books, but they're set 30 years in the future. So that comic book series is set between the 2.
And then the game is set between the.
I think the game is set between some of the seasons. I'm not exact because there is some time in between the seasons. I actually just found out that they're putting up show used suits and things of that nature go for auction next month.
Oh wow! Are you gonna get one?
I'm gonna look at. I don't know about a suit, but like some of the guns and stuff.
Yeah,
it'd be cool to have. I mean, silly with like Amos's bathroom dop kit. They've got that
prop
in there.
Collecting is cool in general, just for like accenting. Like even like that. That little. I mean, that's
3D print.
Well, no,
that's not a 3D print one.
No, I took that down.
That one's a 3D print.
That's a 3D print. I'm going to get that out of here too. But that one up there is that's a store bought red and white.
One of the rubies ones. Yeah,
and then we painted it for a Halloween costume. It's Soulless Blaster for a Halloween costume for Jaina. But now just having it up there looks cool. And then I had the 2 NECA bat grappling hooks. Ricky gifted me, and then I have a Freddy glove coming. Like a
nice.
Just like little accent stuff that's like
in a perfect world I would probably if I had to start over collecting things I would probably collect more props than I would.
Well, you're talking about getting like the official prop though.
Right, well because nobody makes it, but the first
third parties. Go on Etsy. Somebody makes it.
The first stuff that it's I think it's Drummer's suit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Holden's Martian armor.
Yeah.
And there's the UN gun, and then Amos's dop kit, which is like it's so random. It doesn't even say what it is, but there's like some little daggers that are in it too. I'm interested to see it because I have no idea how much that shit will go for.
Yeah, and also like what shape? Like, have you seen the fucking original Ninja Turtles from the movie suit?
Oh my god,
those are fucking
horrifying.
Holy shit,
they're horrifying.
Actually, there's other things out there. If you look at like
Power Ranger suits, Power Ranger monster suits,
like amusement park props and stuff, like in characters, like suits and everything that have sat back and look at some of those where it's like, oh fuck.
So there's
that's where Five Nights from Freddy's come from.
Yeah. There's a show on A&E. It's WWE's Greatest Treasures of Lost Treasure. Basically, WWE is putting together a traveling museum kind of thing, and they're looking for stuff to put in it.
Everyone's panties?
Well, close.
Wrestling panties?
So like,
and tweeting at Dirk.
So the 2 I saw, the 2 I saw was a D-Generation X And there's just not a lot of stuff out there. But like you guys may not know that. Back in like 96, 97, they went, D-Generation X went to a WCW show with like this military Jeep, and like it shot confetti out, and they had on like all this military garb, like they were going to invade. Obviously they didn't. Like they found that Jeep. The guy who they found the guy, like the guy who drove it, he's passed away, but his son has it, and like gonna loan it to the museum. And then the next one was they were looking for stuff for Macho Man Randy Savage.
His fucking glasses and hats.
Well, so the things they were looking
Slim
for,
Jims.
they were looking for. This was in like 90.
The original one he took a bite out of and never finished.
So like
he couldn't.
yeah, because it was
Probably
gross.
tons of them.
So like I don't remember what year it was in the 80s. They did the Mega Powers. It was Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage teamed up, and he had this. It was a cape, and he held it out like this, and it said Mega Powers.
Yes.
They found that. They found
are these?
Dude, listen, they went to this guy's house to get the Macho King crown, and this guy probably had 40 complete Macho Man outfits, and then there's a huge market for that shit. It's crazy.
I mean,
it turns out the crown the guy had, that he was like, well, I don't know if I want to give it, and they got to looking at it, it's like, this is not the right crown. He could have worn this at like, it could have been the one he wore when he was on the road or something, but this is different than the one that we have cataloged in the picture. So, and then like some of the guys were like,
things with props will go. I mean, there's going to be a market for it if it's popular. It's like wrestling.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if it was I look at it this way: the fan base for Expanse. It's a great show, Bob. You should check it out.
I did.
Yeah, you didn't.
I did.
We'll see.
I promise.
Versus Star Wars. Obviously, the Star Wars stuff is going to have a lot more eyes on it than the Expanse stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Where's Mankind's sock?
Oh, Sacco. So they found his original Mankind mask. Somebody had it. Yeah. Yeah. So Mick
How many
Foley's
mouths did that sock have been in?
well, he drew a new one every week. Every time. So
that's a lot of socks.
And there's a lot out there, and he
Let it sock it to
but
me.
there's variations, because they had a prop artist that drew the faces sometimes, and then towards the end, Mick Foley was doing it himself. So like the ones where the prop artists were like, those were like the show used ones. Yeah, for a fucking sock with a.
I mean, it's no different than like a
kind of
baseball that's gone to foul.
Exactly.
You might say it was a
Go ahead.
prophet of the faceless.
God. Oh man, I should sock you for that one. Oh man.
What up, Joe?
Perfect. Speaking of AI shit,
Yeah.
I didn't know this exists, but AI covers.
Oh yeah, it's a huge thing. There was a song that charted. It's Drake and The Weeknd that isn't Drake and The Weeknd. It's
Have you heard about this
Ghost Rider or something or another?
the scam stuff that's going on with the AI songs?
Scamming who?
So like there's this thing, it's like a like Reddit of course has one, 4chan probably has one, but where like people can be anonymous, and they basically are auctioning off, like let's say I'm an engineer, and I'm recording Yellow Wolf's new album, and he puts out 10 songs, but he recorded 15.
Sure.
So now I have 5 Yellow Wolf songs that no one's heard, and they're like selling them underground.
Really?
Yeah, for like
What's that got to do with AI?
So people have been doing group buys, right? Because some of these songs are going for like $2,000, $5,000 a piece.
Wow.
So like people be like, hey man, we all are huge Yellow Wolf fans. Let's all put in $10, raise enough money, get this song, share it amongst us. So one of them just sold recently, I think for Frank Ocean, and then the guy came out and was like, hey, so just so you guys know, it's AI.
Yeah.
And walked away with all their money.
You can't tell the difference no more. Like, yeah, I was
people started saying like, I was like, they were like, I can see why he didn't put this out or shit like that, like something.
But like that one they did, the Drake and The Weeknd, that was you couldn't have told me that wasn't them in it, because it was on brand.
I listened to one recently. Somebody was playing it. It was a Biggie freestyle over Nas New York State of Mind beat. And I was listening to it, and I was like, this is big, but something's not right. And a buddy of mine was like, it's AI.
So have you heard
still sharp?
It's Biggie and Tupac doing Paris.
Oh no, I haven't. Jokers
and Ninjas in Paris. How do you say Alexa, play Paris? Do you mean Paris Jackson? No.
No, actually, just give me a list of options, and so to a point where I can say that one.
Or what's the name? Just play the album and then skip track this one. Please know this song going forward is called Paris. Are you coachable?
That last time that Greg was here and we were talking about like Big Bad Toy Store, I just wanted an I'm sorry, and I was like, and they're going to lose thousands and thousands of dollars for just not saying 2 words, and I was like, there's no 2 words in the world that I couldn't say for just $1,000. I was like, well, actually, maybe one.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2.
1500. We'll talk.
It's relatively. This technology is relatively new. It took you a second to be like, that's not right. Like, what about in 5-10 years?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's the fucking thing. Like,
But
the
I
only
do
way to
think-
know is if you just know.
So I do think there is something, man. I do think it will always lack something.
It's uncanny valley.
Yeah,
It's-
there'll always be
But it'll
something
pass
about
the
it
test.
that a keen ear
Yes.
will be able to, because it needs to be viewed as a tool. If you don't have, there's no AI will never be Quincy Jones. It's just not going to happen. But if you have the next generation's Quincy Jones also using AI at
Yes.
its disposal, now you're probably working with something.
well, I'm not. It's just saying replacing artists. I'm just saying.
No. I'm not saying you are. I'm just for conversation. about it.
I'm just saying AI as in like reality bending.
Let me read
Yeah.
something to you guys. So for context, you guys know there's a writer's strike in Hollywood, right?
Yes.
All right. All right. So do you
You
guys?
just had another one recently too. Like remember
A few years ago.
a few years back.
Yeah. Do you guys know who Justine Bateman is?
Oh, it's when Revenge of the Fallen was. Remember? That was like the big deal. Everybody was like, that movie's trash because it was during the writer's strike.
And it kept
Right.
sucking, so there wasn't that.
You guys know who Justine Bateman is? Jason Bateman's sister. She was in Family Ties.
I know
a million years
Jason
ago. So she is also a computer scientist. So she tweeted
Flex.
this out. I'm trying.
Good
to
morning,
see
scientist.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as the writer's strike enters its third week, actress and computer scientist Justine Bateman posted a tweet thread detailing how AI could disrupt the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
AI has to be addressed now or never. I believe this is the last time any labor
too
action
late.
will be effective in our business, she wrote. If we don't make strong rules now, they simply won't notice if we strike in 3 years because at that point they won't need us.
Yes.
She's known for playing this, that, and the other. Hey, she has a degree in computer science and digital media management. She took aim at the use of computer-generated images trained on actors' likenesses and voices and said that an actor could be triple or quadruple booked. She encouraged actors to demand ironclad protection against the use of their image and voice. To prove her point, she shared a tweet from a AI user, some guy, showing a video of a AI-generated Lord of the Rings. What would that look like if Wes Anderson directed?
Yes.
So if you go on YouTube, and I wish I had been this clever, they're like, Star Wars of Wes Anderson, and it's still images, but you know how you can, like, I'm sure Robert's an expert of, like, making you sing. And
yeah.
So
Oh my
they've
God,
taken,
Robert with AI is gonna be a menace.
so they basically taken, like, whoever's, I think it was Scarlett Johansson playing Princess
Asian person?
Leia, and then her eye, and her eyes
Wait,
just move a
Scarlett
little
Johansson
bit.
was Asian. Let's.
So I think it'll always, I like to because her sounds like fear mongering to me. And
there's merit to it.
and I think that it will always lack that soul. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
That if you're a great writer, right, and you come up with this concept, and you're having how like
You're having writer's block, right?
or you write yourself into a corner and you can't figure out how to get a character out of here, and you use AI to help with that.
Yeah.
I think that's where AI is going to be super beneficial in moving art and everything forward. But I think
It could become a crutch though. At some point.
it could 100%. I 100% agree. It could rob you of ambition. It could be Superman.
Yeah.
But I also think that leaving it up to AI to do something total, I think will always feel a little bit weightless.
Yes, but my counter argument is most media is weightless.
That's true.
You don't have to argue that with me, Joe. I'm on here every week talking about it.
So the AI can replace 99% of what's out there.
Well, to be fair,
just
I think,
not the top tier 1%.
Well,
you know?
I think it's probably less than that. To
Yeah,
be
less
fair.
than that, but I get you.
I
Like,
think
yeah.
that 99, let's say 80%,
Yeah.
probably needs to be replaced anyway. But I think
Stop jobs.
the reason with it is that like we have so much streaming and so much content available, and then I have so many people in the pot able to contribute. Whereas before, maybe it was 50 writers or whatever. I'm using numbers arbitrarily, but now it's 2,000 writers. Well, yeah, okay, but before 50 rose from the ranks of those 2,000.
Yeah.
Now we have all 2,000, and you see why the 50 rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I know they had like a whole Joe Rogan podcast that wasn't completely AI generated.
Really?
Yeah, people didn't fucking realize it. But I mean, it's too late. Like the warnings and scares has merit, but is fucking too late. Like I don't know what people like. I knew this starting from fucking deep fake porn and shit. Like a few years back, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a thing.
It just has to be used like anything else, man.
But the problem is that people a lot of times What the scariest
people thought
is people won't know the difference,
right? But I think people, I think
just like Onion
I think it'll only be the dummies. I think it'll only be
dummies out there, bro.
100%. But it's just like the same
four of them.
the same people that think that like there are four of them. But like it's like it's like auto-tune, right?
Yeah.
Auto-tune came out and it basically made it possible for anybody to sing, right?
More or less, yeah.
And what you didn't realize was that. Well, it takes more than just being a good singer to make a good record.
Yes.
So there's still these other components, and I think that like it's going to be the same thing when it's like people are, it's going to ruin the music industry. It's going to ruin. There won't be good singers anymore. Like no, there's still great singers. But now we have great songs being made by autotune. But before we had reverb, or before we had, you know what I mean? It's just the next thing. It's just I think that. If it matters to people, which I hope it does, but if it matters to people, people need to be more savvy, or just be more dumb, and they can be fine too.
Well,
They're getting along just fine.
There's a whole
getting along just fine.
Obviously,
being dumb as fuck.
Obviously, the entertainment side we're going to talk about here, but like from a business standpoint, like let's say that we're having a business Zoom call. I can tell AI, hey, record the audio and create me a transcript, and I take that transcript and I plug it into Chat GPT. It's like make me bullet point outlines of this, and then I can email back out to you guys. Hey guys, just a reminder. Here's what we talked about today.
I would be curious to listen to a Nerd Rage AI episode.
The computer don't know what to do.
Well,
I don't know where to go with
all
this.
you got to do is
everywhere.
find an AI that wants to listen to these episodes.
We're 400 episodes, so you can feed it 400 plus episodes.
Yeah.
But I think where it's gonna,
it'll probably tell you more about yourself in a way.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah,
someone do it. I don't know who has an account to make to an AI program that makes fucking podcasts.
Yeah, I'll pay you $50.
But I mean, what's gonna be is like the prophet of the faces. It's going to be people whose identity means something, right? They're the ones going to take a hit.
And that's PROFIT. We figured out.
yes.
After all said and done, we were spelling it wrong.
Like I keep saying, you don't fucking need celebrity actors. You don't need their fucking face. And I think that's good for the entertainment industry to not like for star power to not be a thing.
Well, I think in some ways. So like, I agree with it for like The Rock, personally. But like, there are other people that are stars because they are insanely talented.
But I would rather their face not be like what makes them famous. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they're acting talent. Or
okay,
whatever,
Daniel Day-Lewis. Does he ever need to be digitized in AI in any form or fashion?
Yeah, but like you're talking about the 0.0001 percenters,
the elite.
You're right.
Right.
So you're saying Seth Rogen?
I mean, but just any.
But I mean, that's a guy who like I don't feel like I need like it's tricky. Even that's still a guy with talent.
Yeah.
Even with good actors, right? Like you know how writers can have pen names.
Yes.
So like
Mark Twain, if you will, Joseph.
Oh yeah. Or J.K. Rowling, or whatever the fuck she was writing under that sucked. But so you can not be swayed by a name, right? You can consume a piece of content prejudgment free. Mm-hmm. Right, a lot of times people are like, I'll watch this movie for this actor. I like this actor. I watch, or musician, or Jared Leto, or fucking Tom Cruise.
Correct.
Right. So if they were really good, you AI over the face with an unknown generated face for a movie, like A, does the acting hold up, and B, I can be more immersed because I don't recognize this person. For me, no matter how good an actor is, like there is something in the back of my mind that's like, I know this person.
Yeah, that's why sometimes no names are better.
Right. No name good actors. But so like instead of using AI to generate famous people, right? To
put Tom Cruise in a movie.
Put Tom Cruise in everything. Instead, the other way around. Take fucking famous faces out of everything and let everything stand on its own.
Well, the problem with that is people are still going to go see a movie because Tom Cruise is in it.
Yeah, because his name is still going to be attached.
Still recognized. I think we're going to see more of the opposite of they'll put Tom Cruise's face on someone. You know, I don't know how the hell that guy looks the way he does it. He's got some great plastic surgery. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
He's got all the got rid of thetans.
He's got all
the tortured souls.
Whatever they're doing on that boat in the Caribbean.
But like, I think that
but you know what I mean? Like, that completely takes like actor celebrity culture out of it altogether in the future, where like every piece of media.
But it's all money driven, right? Because it's the same. You ever see the movie?
Well, you have to pay, the studio pay people less. They can pay.
No. They won't, because it won't bring in the same money. Like because the name does matter. I think. I'm saying, this is my prediction.
Will it always?
I think so. Because America, we just have an obsession with stars.
Yeah, but we have also breakout hits where people didn't start off as stars.
I'm not saying there can't be an exception, But I'm saying that it'll never go away. I don't think so. Not in this culture. It's
But,
too ingrained.
but we
in
already
it.
agree that celebrities now is not the same as celebrities back in the day.
No, because they're right there in front of us because they're on social media and we can
we don't
see
treat
what they're
them the
doing
same.
every day.
They're
where
still
you didn't
celebrities.
see where,
I don't know if we don't treat them the same. But neither here nor there. What I wanted to get to with that, like, you ever see the movie? I think it was. It's hard because there was two of them about the same exact fucking thing. But
Armageddon and
and Big Impact.
even closer. But it was on. One was made for TV, but not that one. The one that was made for the movie theater for the head of theatrical release of United '93.
Yep.
So they purposefully, when they did that movie, it's amazing. I don't know if you've seen it. But
It's been a long time ago, but yeah.
it's about the plane that crashed in Pennsylvania, right, on 9/11. And they purposefully went, and when they got the actors for it, they did two things. They got like really talented play actors that were off Broadway, so that they were not celebrities at all, but extremely talented. And they made every single one of them meet the families of the characters the people they were playing, so that the family could give their blessing, yes or no.
Yeah.
And as a result, you have this movie. This is to co-sign the one point that I definitely agree with you with about big names taking you out of something, right? So you have this movie about this very sensitive topic for American history, and nothing is distracting about it because everybody is an elite performer and you don't know any of them.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think even if you mask that with it's still going to say starring Tom Cruise, but it'll just not look like Tom Cruise.
Right.
I think the whole movie, I'll be sitting there like, which one of them motherfuckers is Tom? You know what I mean? So I think that, I do think, I agree with you that Hollywood would benefit from using a lot less names with more talent. Not to say more talent than the stars, but equal or more possible, but that you can perhaps identify with a bit more than having fucking Samuel L. Jackson instead of the Jedi Council.
What you don't think visual media can become like voice acting, where voice actors are good, but like you don't necessarily like sit there and look for the voice actor?
I think I definitely do.
Okay. Maybe I just
so here's the thing. I don't think I do if it's like a voice actor. But when you have John Leguizamo,
I'm saying,
but when you have the big name attached to it, now I'm looking for who he is.
Yes, but I'm saying it's the other way around, because voice actors become famous for being good voice actors. No one knows who they are until like, oh, this guy is in a lot of things and he's good. But like, I don't know necessarily people look for voice actors to watch shit.
I agree.
Same with the video games. Like when I was playing Last of Us, I was super impressed that by the actors who.
But I
voices
think in
and
your
physical
scenario, you're going to be looking for it because they're mega stars already. They're not mega voice actors.
No, I mean like in the future where like faceless actors become
Faceless people.
Yes, faceless actors become famous for their work instead of who they are.
But I think that some of them will rise, right? I think
And still become
as voice, like
even though no one ever see their face, they'll still look for them.
Right. I think some of them, like Peter Cullen now would be probably one, at least in our circle, where like it doesn't matter if he's fucking Eeyore or Prime, it's fucking instantly recognizable, But plenty will get by. I think the problem is when you have the Hollywood elite, the people that put asses in movie seats. It's one of the things I've had to say I was wrong once this week already, so I'm a little upset about that. But I'm going to go ahead and say it twice. I debated with a buddy of Mario, I bring him up all the time, but like drop down, yelling at each other argument about how important a celebrity is to a feature film, and I was saying that it can rise above, and to this day I often think like if I could go back or if I could say one thing to a buddy of mine this past, I'd be, hey, I was wrong. Fucking people, the fucking name matters, because like fucking The Rock is like a perfect example of like that name puts asses in seats. Regardless.
That's much easier than the other way around, where a movie with nobodies becomes so good that it became, critically acclaimed, or like
Exactly.
lots of money in, and and then they become stars.
Well, anything everywhere all at once, whatever. I missed a word there, but that's a good example. Like those aren't named like people in like people know who Michelle Yeoh is, and there's a couple other but that movie was not driven by Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise and stars, and and it won a ton of awards, and
Where it does matter for us, me and you, Pinkerton, not so much Bobby. is, there are people working now on AI for NPCs in games where like there will be no repeat dialogues.
Right.
Whatever they're saying is going to be generated in every instance, and they'll remember every interaction they have with you. So they'll never ask you the same thing again. They'll never say the same shit to you again. When you go back to them, they will remember the last conversation you had. So every fucking NPC in the game.
That's a tool.
That's amazing. Like, because no one has to write the script for them.
And no one will ever leave their video game again.
Like you, who has 500 hours in Cyberpunk.
Right.
Imagine if every person in that fucking game says something different to you every fucking time you walk up to them and remember everything they say to you.
I would just want to talk to the people on the street.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else on your?
No, sorry.
No worries.
Completely.
I was gonna
derail this.
I was
show
gonna
again.
piggyback that as we transition. I sent Joe this like little video clip this week of this guy has learned in Grand Theft Auto like how to jump up on a character and then
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
piggyback style, but like
in the front,
but from the front.
Oh my god!
So he's like
hilarious.
He's like going around to like all these like tough guys that are like playing like you know criminals in this game, and then being like, all right, yeah, I'm in. Let's go rob them. Yeah, real quick though, and like he'll just jump up on them front ways, and you'll hear the other dude like, what are you doing? Get off me! And they'll be like somebody pop this dude, and he'll be saying, no, man, I just gotta whisper something to you real quick. I just gotta whisper something.
Oh my god!
It's so
great.
good.
That's
It's
great.
so good. Those perfect glitches.
Yeah.
You guys see the trailer for GTA 6?
I did not.
I mean, it looks like a fucking movie. It really does.
Amazing. Is this a Fast and Furious game form almost?
Kind of, sort of.
Didn't they just announce Fast X is going to be part 1 of 3 of the finale of Fast?
I get to go see that by myself this weekend. I'm excited.
Worst
Oh,
one.
is it coming out again?
Worst one yet.
It comes out this week.
Either time flies or they put out 3 of those movies a year.
No, they don't.
I feel like you just watched one, like just recently.
Well, the one where
by
they
yourself again.
well, right, where they took the Fiero to outer space.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
Jason Momoa looks weird without a beard.
Yes.
I don't know. Let me look and see.
I feel like you just went to watch that.
Yeah, the spaceship one.
Yeah.
Let me see when that came out.
Ludicrous in space. First the
So that would
Leprechaun,
have
now
been.
Ludicrous.
It was 2021.
That
came
was
out.
fucking 2 years ago? Holy shit, time flies.
Yeah.
I saw Vin Diesel driving down the Hoover Dam, I think.
That sounds about right.
Vin Diesel's great in a movie called Boiler Room. I highly
He is.
recommend it.
Anytime I talk to a lot of people in what I do for a living, and I'm like, it's a great movie to watch for that. That and
Fantastic.
Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross. Coffee's for closers, boys.
And that, that whole movie, Boiler Room, has great performances. Giovanni Ribisi and
Nikki Cat, who really kind of vanished.
yeah,
And,
great.
Neil Long.
Neil Long. Yeah, who could forget? Only a person with a short-term memory. You know.
Oh, hey.
Chris, how was your nerd week?
It was pretty good. Bobby, I love you. You
Here we
giving
go.
Guardians a 5 is a fucking travesty.
So that's all my nerd week. I'm raising it a point.
Okay, I'm giving it a 9.
Yeah,
It is my favorite post Infinity War Marvel.
A lot of people have been saying that, but also
It was
I
phenomenal.
called it too.
Yeah.
Last week I called it. I
was
was like,
great.
people are gonna love this.
It is fan-fucking-tastic. It's funny. It's emotional.
I didn't find it funny. I did find it emotional.
You're just not the target audience anymore.
He's definitely
Bob.
not. I don't know what.
I thought it was great. I mean, it's fan-fucking-tastic. Like, when I had a smile on my face when it ended. I just like, that's the greatest Marvel movie since Infinity War.
I can't fuck with Wakanda Forever for me. Wakanda Forever is in my top 5 Marvel movies of all time.
I think I disagree, but I give it a 9.
Ugh.
And my entire family, that's all I gives it a 9.
A lot of people do, but
Yeah.
I think it's simple, man, and that's not a slight against you and your family, but I think
Hey, my mama told me when I was young.
there's
Yes.
I think I'm raising it a point because I did have an epiphany from last week to this week. If I had it at a 5, because I love the rocket shit. Mm-hmm. I love the rocket shit. So if I love that and I have it at a 5, at a halfway point, it would mean that I hate the rest of it. But I don't hate the rest of it. I just don't like the rest of it.
Okay.
So I'm bumping it up a point to a 6. But yeah, I think that the rocket stuff is great. I think that everything else is just, and I think Adam Warlock is a fucking travesty. A travesty.
And
it's the equivalent of Bane in Batman Forever.
Oh God.
Okay. No, I see your argument, and I had that in mind, but
I forgot about that.
I think it explains it. I mean, you're going to see him going forward. You know, they let him out of his cocoon earlier, or however they explain that. But
And he looks weird.
he does. He looks like
I mean,
Dave
shit, he's
Chappelle
an
doing
alien.
whiteface.
No, but he looks weird.
Like the kid doing
He's probably going to look weird
strange.
without makeup.
Yeah, he is. He's very recognizable. He's a good actor, though.
Yeah.
I like him and stuff.
Hard to tell on that one.
So that was a good time watching. I watched Air.
So that movie is bombing, but like
Really?
Yeah, it's doing.
Well, you know, it's on Amazon Prime right now.
So,
Like, you can
so
watch
I wanted to say, like, it's an interesting movie because the critics' reviews of that movie are through the roof, and it is fucking bombing. And like, I want to see it bad because I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, fan-fucking-tastic.
Everybody that sees it says it's amazing. It's just not many people are seeing it.
I'm not really in the sneaker circle anymore, but I wonder. I don't know how it's received with that, but like. It was well acted. It's got heavy hitters in it. The story is good.
It's got good fucking Matt Damon and
Matt Damon.
And you can rent it on Amazon now.
But it's on Prime. It's like if you have Amazon
Like
Prime,
stream?
just fucking go watch it.
No shit. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
That's because I was going on. They said it was going to be on Amazon. I'm like, well, it's a $20 thing. Let's watch it. And I log on to Amazon and it's like. Now available on Prime.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Let's
tonight.
go.
Fuck that. I'm excited about it. It looks great. The cast looks great. The fucking directing looks good. Like, it looks fucking awesome.
Do y'all check out the trailer for the Flame Hot Cheetos?
I saw it was out. I didn't watch it.
I mean, it's actually. I mean, it looks like they're making as kind of a comedy, but it looks like it's actually interesting if it's actually based on a true story.
Well, so this is what I'm worried about is that like because I would say that it's like a new genre, right? The how did it happen genre,
with
right?
Tetris,
BlackBerry, Jordans, and Flaming Hot Cheetos. And my worry is that with Jordans, because it has this all-star cast, and it looks like it's so like it's like.
Are you worried? Is that all-star cast that's taken away from the movie?
Well, no. So I don't think so. I think
it's not putting asses in seats, obviously.
It's not. But I think that's because the movie theater industry is just in ruins. But like. If you take that, right, that has all of the ingredients of greatness and you put it here and it's not being taken to, I worry that movie and maybe one or two more like it will kill the genre, and I hope that's not the case because I'm loving the genre. Tetris is my movie of the year so far.
Well, I mean, we're getting documentaries about stuff we grew up with.
I mean, do you think that people don't care about?
I mean, not documentary. We're getting these making of kind of deals.
Do you think maybe it's just a subject matter? Like maybe like fucking Air Jordans aren't as fucking interesting as Tetris?
Well, but Tetris didn't hit theaters. I don't think Tetris would have done well in theaters either.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a niche kind of thing, but as you watch it, Matt Damon's character in that reminds me of Brian Brink so much. Just his mannerisms, the way he digests information.
I'm watching it tonight.
There's some bad parts about that guy, and that's all I'm
psyched.
It's good.
I want to see that.
It's really good. I mean, Matt Damon. It's a great fucking actor. Jason Bateman does great.
Affleck.
Violetta Davis that plays Michael Jordan's mom in that. It's great. I mean, it's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, I'm watching it tonight.
Yeah. Let me see what else. Played more Jedi Survivor. I finished the game, but I'm trying to go through and find all the Chotsky bullshit and whatnot.
Secrets.
Yeah,
you need at least 3 digits of hours.
And I actually unlocked where it'll show you where all like the loot crates are and stuff. I'm like, oh, well now I have. Yeah, I'm not just running around aimlessly as much.
You find like a little Snoke clone fetus.
Yeah,
it's a whole tank of them.
It's gross. So everyone in my family has braces. Or has had braces. Charlie got braces, and I know Selena had some very challenging dental issues. He's got teeth growing like the roof of his mouth, all sorts of crazy shit. So poor kid, he's all like stuff he goes through with his stomach and whatnot. Now
is he having surgeries also?
He's got to have oral surgeries, and like
your heart breaks for him.
I know.
Like nobody like prepares you for that.
They put like the first 4 brackets on for him.
Rough for him, man.
Yeah,
it sucks.
And he's such a nice kid too.
But hey, like get it all done with, get it over with.
Yeah,
that way you're not a teenager.
Well, this is just be phase 1.
Oh, I know.
These motherfuckers. It's a whole racket now. It's a bracket.
Got him.
It's a bracket.
Got him. I wish I had fucking braces, man.
Yeah,
Family couldn't afford that shit. That shit was luxury back in fucking 1990, whatever.
So actually, mine was a sucker deal. My dad and my mom were supposed to share medical expenses for me.
Okay.
That was like part of the arrangement of the child care, right? Because my dad, there was a split custody.
Yeah.
So my mom didn't have to pay any child support.
Oh.
But my dad had me Monday through Friday, and my mom had me Saturday and Sunday. And my mom said, "Look, I can't do all this. Split this bill. You do health, I'll do dental." And then my dad was like, "Fine." He didn't give a shit about the money anyway. And then when it came time for braces, she was like, well, yeah, go ahead and pay for it and I'll pay you back. And she never paid him back. And because it's cosmetic, it's not, like a cavity or anything. It could never be court ordered. And she just, beat the system. Hustler.
So I rarely share comic anecdotes from my kids like you do, Bob, mainly because I just don't think about them. But Charlie was sitting and we were talking about, we started talking about French fries, and he's like, what's your favorite kind of fries? I'm like, I like a crinkle cut fry, and then a waffle fry is probably second. And he said, so I like the ones at McDonald's, like horseshoe fries. I'm like,
what?
Horseshoe? Charlie, what are you talking about? Horseshoe fries, like the ones they have at McDonald's. I said, do you mean shoestring fries? He's like, yeah, that's it, shoestring. So horseshoe fries just kind of stuck. I thought that was funny.
That's good.
Is that what they call shoestring fries?
Yeah, actually, shoestrings are probably a little. Fry. You ever been to like what's Steak and Shake? You ever been to one of those?
Yeah, dude, they're good.
Right, but they have like soup. Soup. I think those are more shoestring.
Yeah, exactly.
Fries.
The McDonald's I thought was just regular.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny when he called them horseshoe fries.
It's like those little. Remember those little cans of like potato shit?
Yeah, potato chips that were those little things. Yeah, those were good. Took Kelly and I went to brunch for Mother's Day at Firebirds, which is a place we've become quite fond of. It's in Frederick.
Okay,
it's what used to be.
What kind of restaurant is it?
It's a steak place, and they've got burgers, and the brunch was phenomenal.
Where's it at?
It's in the parking lot where the Regal movie theater is.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
okay.
It was something else. They just
right.
Which Firebirds is a chain. There was one in Birmingham.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I can have steak.
There you go. It's almost over.
Almost over. 1 week.
So, can you guys name your first 5 jobs and what your boss's name was?
I've only had 5 jobs.
Yes, no.
Okay. Joe, what was your? Have you had 5 jobs?
I may have only had 5 jobs.
That's what I'm saying.
Really?
I think I've only had like 5 jobs.
Wow.
All right, let's do. All right, so I worked at 5th. Well, technically, I worked.
No, this is actual paycheck. Government taxes taken. I'm not working.
Right.
I'm not counting
so
cutting grass or anything.
Technically, my first job.
No,
technically, my first job was at Pizza Hut.
Okay,
but I only went to the training. I never showed up to work.
It didn't tell you didn't get the paycheck.
If you didn't get
they I never went to pick up my paycheck.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I got a 4-hour training paycheck. It was like $20. I didn't go to pick it up.
Right.
Likes on them.
My next job was at Value Food as a supposed to be as a bagger, but they ended up using me as a cashier, which was actually illegal at the time. I was too young.
Yeah.
I fucked that all up. Can't remember my boss's name for either. And I was stoned out of my mind half the time.
Nice.
And dude, I've probably told this story before, but like when they would start saying some extra shit like paper in the plastic, and they'd have me all fucked up. They'd have me all fucked up. And like but the cart would come up to like put the groceries in. I would look at it. I'd hit total. There's like 14 bags of groceries, and the total is like $8.68. And I'd be like, I guess it's just $8.68.
Wow.
My line would be long as fuck, and everybody else's line was very little, because everybody was trying to get the deal because I was fucking the fuck up. So that was Value Food. And my next job was I worked at a gas station, sold all my buddies cigarettes.
Fair.
I worked as a cashier and stock. Then from there, I worked at Dollar Tree. Opened up the first Dollar Tree in my neighborhood, so to speak. No, I mean. And then after Dollar Tree, I started working at the loading dock. And then now I feel I might as well continue it. From the loading dock, I worked for the state for social services for a year. It was awful. And then I became a mopper. 7 jobs in my life.
Wow. What about you, Joe?
I think I definitely have less than that. Like, we're not talking about side jobs, so I got paid on the table.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
So first I was I worked in a picture framer, art dealer's place, help people pick shit out. I remember everybody that worked there. And then after that, I was in the military for a bit. I remember a lot of people. My direct bosses, all several of them, I remember.
You were in the military, like enlisted?
You don't remember this?
I don't know why.
I mean, you went to military school,
I know you went to military
you were
school.
actually enlisted.
Yeah.
In what branch?
Navy.
Okay, that's what I thought. And you did 2 years?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
you remember?
I remember bits and pieces.
It's like a book.
Well, because
you started to remember now.
Because I don't think you
I don't talk about it much.
lot.
That's a weird phase in my life. I don't talk about that much, but yeah, it's there. And then after that, I was a pharmacy technician, and then went to school for pharmacy, and then two different, so 6 jobs. Because after being a pharmacy technician, I became the pharmacist of that same store, and then I also worked for another pharmacy, the one I drive a lot now.
Okay.
So that's 6 jobs, and I remember everybody.
Let's see. So my first actual job was I was 15 at the
I was 15,
the Piggly Wiggly. Worked for Mr. West. He was a tiny man. He was probably like 5'2", probably weighed 100 pounds, and was held together with nicotine and caffeine.
I like him already.
and he talked like this. I left there. I went and worked at McDonald's in the mall. And I was 6'6" then, so it's like I don't remember. I remember my buddy Mike worked there, and that's how I got the job. I didn't work there long.
I forgot a job.
And I went to do overnight grocery stocking at this chain called Bruno's, which was kind of similar to what Wegmans is now. It's kind of a higher end grocery store. I don't remember the guy's name, but I remember he was like this fake tough military guy. Mm-hmm. We were all kind of scared of him.
Did about 2 years in the Navy.
Probably, right? Yeah, that kind of. Like this guy, he's got a high and tight and walking around with a strut, and I'm like, okay, dude. After that, I went back to the Piggly Wiggly and worked for. They changed managers.
It's hard to leave, to be fair.
Well, it was easy because it was 2 miles from my house.
Well, yeah, I went back to the art dealership after getting out of the military before I became a technician.
Yeah,
so same job twice is the same job still, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I worked at the same place, different people, but like. I was like a third shift manager or something. Not third shift, like a close. Like I'd come work like 12 to 9:30 or whatever, and I was counting the money and all that. After that, I went into the construction industry and worked for a guy named Rob Willis that went to church with my family, and we did construction.
This sounds very Alabama.
It was. I got a lot of stories out of that job, but and I say construction. After basically the house was done, we did the doorknobs, we did the bath, the hardware,
the fit and finish.
We did the door stops, and the biggest thing we did was the wire shelving in the closets.
Oh,
so we did that. After I left that, that's when I began my career in the film industry. My friend at the time, TJ, got me a job there. I worked for Rhonda. I remember Rhonda. I worked there for several years, and my father and I had a business for several years, and that kind of dried up. I went back into the film industry, working at Blockbuster for Kelly Berry. She was interesting. After that, I went to Auto Parts and left Auto Parts. Kind of stayed in that pocket, kind of working that. Left that job, went to another company to do district manager, and then I left, moved up to Maryland for this gig.
Nice. Yeah, the one I missed was when I started working the loading dock. Initially, I was just working summers, and then I was on call. So, like, I was going to school. Mm-hmm. So, like, if somebody banged out, they would call me in. They were called alternates. So they would call me in as an alternate to fill the spot. Well, when I came back the next summer to work full time, they didn't have a spot for me. So I went and got a job at Fort McHenry as like a groundskeeper. Which is basically a janitor, which they didn't tell me upon what you call. But the thing that I remember,
custodian, dick.
The thing I remember most about working there was two things. One, whenever you walked into this one room, it had like one of those automated things that start playing. Like I'd go to get the trash out of there, and like one of those like as a tourist, one of those things that would start playing, and it was like. It was about the Star Spangled Banner and then the 50 states, blah, blah. And they were like, and we welcomed our 49th and 50th states, Alaska and Hawaii, into the Hawaii.
You say it properly?
Extra sauce on that shit. That, and then it was during the winter. So I guess it wasn't the summer, it was a winter time. And I had to put cellophane up because there's all these old buildings. I had to put cellophane up on the windows, and then take a hair dryer and shrink it to get it tight up against to keep the cold air out. Huh. And it sucked. It sucked.
That sounds like a
yeah. So that. But when I worked on the loading dock, I had it's like really the only supervisor who I remember their name aside from my current job.
Yeah.
But it was this guy Russell from Southern Maryland, and he liked me. But he was an asshole, and he hated to see a motherfucker sitting around. So, like, we had tickets on the loading dock. They give you a ticket, you go move a piece of furniture, or you deliver a piece of furniture, or whatever, or you annex some furniture, whatever the case may be. But, like, sometimes there's just nothing to do.
Yeah.
So we would just sit around, play cards, dominoes, whatever the case may be. It was all me and guys that lived in the city. And Russell came, Bobby Scolfucci, I need you to take this. And this guy, my buddy Troy, would always correct him, but his last name is Skullface. And he'd be like, well, I'll call him Scolfucci. Hey, I'm going to need you to take this file cabinet. You get a couple guys, you run it on up to the east low rise. Now, there's going to be some people in there. They're going to give you a bunch of mouth about it, but you just leave it there. It's time for it to go. So we were contractors for the federal government and at the Social Security fucking headquarters of the fucking nation. So I would walk this fucking file cabinet around, And then I would be like, "Hey, I'm here to deliver this file cabinet." And they'd be like, "I told Russell that I needed it next Wednesday. I don't even have the old one with the papers out of it yet. There's no place for this. Take this back and tell him to follow my orders." You know, and then I had to take it back. Oh, well, sorry, stick it over there. But he would do shit like that all the time.
Just to make you do shit?
Just because he hated to see people sitting around. He used to drive me nuts.
Yeah. One other note on that, talking about your first 5 jobs. Did you guys know if you go to the Social Security website and log in, it will show you how much you claimed you made every year?
Yeah.
Oh,
really? I've did that several years ago.
It's interesting to see, like, how did I live on that?
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, I have a few things. I don't have much either, honestly, but I am watching White House Plumbers. Mm-hmm. I still find it to be fairly mid.
Okay.
It's kind of sadly, Woody Harrelson, Watergate. It seems like
sounds like it would be great.
It would be great, but it's not great. It's fine. I'm also continuing to watch that show I talked about last week with the what was it? The fucking why am I drawing a blank? Love and Death, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Robots.
With,
Robots.
With Scarlet Witch.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, about her cheating in the 80s or 70s or whatever, yeah.
So that show is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. It's shaping up to be one of them.
And where's that found?
That is on HBO Max.
Okay. I think.
And then I also watched a documentary, I guess you could call it. I guess, yeah, it's a documentary. But homemade, biographical, if you will, of it's called Still. And it's on HBO Max, I believe. And it's Michael J. Fox's story.
Oh, I don't know if I can get through that, man.
It's
I don't wanna.
It's rough, but it's fucking amazing, and it's a great story. I mean, obviously tragic in its own right, but like some of the stuff that he tells and like his kind of humble beginnings and shit is interesting. But like, you know, I forget how much of a megastar that dude was.
Mm-hmm. Oh man,
and
Back to the Future.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
Teen Wolf.
For Love and
Family
Money.
Ties,
Yeah.
and fucking. But then, like, he talked about like when it started for him, and he started getting these tremors. It was like mainly in his left hand, and he was like, and I got through years and years of it because I just made sure I had something in my left hand all the time. And they start showing like all this clips of like multiple movies that he's in where he's just always got something in his left hand, and sometimes he is like wailing it around crazy, but he makes it make sense for the scene and you don't even notice it. Wow. So it was pretty fascinating to watch. And it's like he's been in stuff recently, like as guest appearance. Like he did a whole couple episodes on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, just that playing on it. Yeah,
fucking
hilarious.
amazing. Where like Larry was complaining about the stomping around upstairs, but it's because he walks all fucked up.
Oh,
and yes, like, but you get to see him walk in this, and it's like, holy fuck, dude, this dude is. I guess when I see him in Curb Your Enthusiasm, I'm like, yeah, he's fucked up, but he's all right. When you see him in this shit, yeah, man, he's fucked up.
I mean, that shit. You go downhill. I mean, there's no way around it.
No, it's no up.
We watched it because my wife is actually like a bit of a specialist in that field.
Oh, okay.
Like she's like people travel to see her. Like she's like known for dealing with people with Parkinson's.
Oh.
So like she was obviously highly curious about it. She found it to be mid because she's read all of his books and everything else, and she all that kind of.
My wife's known to cut a bitch.
Yeah. So everything else that I have is just family stories, really. One was Laura was sick last week. She rarely is ever sick, but she was sick last week. And
thoughts and prayers.
She's doing fine now. But we were talking about smelling something. Like I was like she can you smell that? And I was like, actually, I don't have a great sense of smell, so I'm not the best person to ask. And then Laura was like, Laura was like, I have a great sense of smell. And I was like, yeah, you might call it your sixth sense. And
oh man.
And nobody at the table laughed, so I just told him that I was underappreciated.
Wrong audience.
Kept it moving. Selena goes to this middle school or elementary school rather, and their mascot is a wolf,
right?
And they ended up buying a wolf, like the school.
Oh, it sounds like a good use of funds.
It's not at the school. It's like they adopted one.
A sanctuary or whatever.
So yeah, they actually had this like account that they can log into and watch it. Like there's cameras, so it's pretty cool. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And her response, it is cool until you realize we don't have money to fix the air conditioning. Then it seems pretty uncool.
Oh, right on.
There's so many layers to that.
Yeah, I know. And then the last one, that was just some great banter between my kids. on Mother's Day, which I just did help my wife with mulching and stuff, and then we had some crab legs, and it was nice.
Hot crab legs.
Yes, well, for sure. But it was. I don't know if you looked at the forecast for the day. It was supposed to be a shitty day.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day.
It was a beautiful day.
Yeah,
and I was like, it was forecast as being cloudy with rain.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, it was like it's not even cloudy at all, but there was like some puffy white clouds in the sky, and then Laura was like, unless you considered this cloudy, which I wouldn't. And I was like, no, this isn't cloudy. And then Leia said, I would consider this cloudy. And then Selena chopped right in and said, and you go to summer school.
Oh, wow. So brutal. So brutal.
Which is pretty good. And then that's it. We can get right into notes, which is there's not much of either. Dolly Rockstar.
Yeah,
Dolly Parton is putting out an album called Rockstar, where she's collaborating with a lot of like rock bands and such.
What is she now? Like fucking 105?
So she got put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and at the ceremony she said, "I'm going to put out a rock album because it's weird me being here."
So, she's country superstar, legend, and international treasure Dolly Parton has announced that she is currently in the studio with heavy metal band Slipknot.
Oh,
they are writing and recording songs together that will appear on Slipknot's new album due out later this year, which I guess is going to coincide with her Rockstar album.
I didn't hear about this one. That's pretty cool.
So we recorded. Dolly says this. We recorded new metal versions of my song, Jolene and 9 to 5.
I cannot wait to
Let
hear
me tell you
that.
something. I am in for a metal Jolene.
Yo,
Jolene is hard as
It is,
fuck.
dude. That song is fantastic. That's one of the best written songs.
Yeah,
I think in the history of the songwriting.
Then we recorded new versions of the Slipknot songs "Wait and Bleed" and "Pulse of the Maggots."
Oh wow,
that's amazing, dude.
She goes on to
She is
say,
a treasure.
"They are such nice boys, and I had so much fun recording and writing with them. Very talented. Just love them. They are my new favorite band."
I just wonder what. So
She
all right,
is a treasure. She's
What-
like her
amazing.
stories are
what
great.
does Dolly Parton's mask for the Slipknot tour look like? Is it just some big tits hanging off her jaws?
I hope not. So then,
I still want to go to Dollywood.
so Disney Plus has lost 4 million subscribers
Nice.
in this year. And they say they're going to remove streaming content following HBO Max's footsteps. Another day means more streaming news. Disney Plus which will combine with Hulu into a single app, will be removing certain streaming content from its platform. Removing streaming content is a move we recently saw from HBO Max as a cost-cutting measure. We are in the process of reviewing our content on our direct-to-consumer services to align with the strategic changes in our approach to the content curation. As a result, we will be removing certain content from our streaming platforms and currently expect to take an impairment charge of approximately $1.5 to $1.8 billion. The charge, which will not be recorded in our segment results, will primarily be recognized in the third quarter as we complete our review and remove the content. So what will Disney Plus be removing? The answer to that question is not clear at this time, but McCarthy said the streaming service will produce lower volumes of content in the future. Let's see what happens as the streaming service moves into a new direction.
More is not always better. Same, and just the amount of streaming service, there's too many. There's no reason for you to have one company to have multiple, right?
agree.
If you own Hulu and Disney, it only fucking makes sense to combine them.
Yeah.
They're trying to get more money by having separate subscriptions.
I think that's part of it. I think the other part of it is they're worried about how the branding of Disney looks.
Yeah.
So like the Wu-Tang show on Hulu
Yes.
doesn't necessarily look good on Disney.
Yeah, but still, like,
Nor does,
I mean,
nor does the Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson
listen,
show.
all the FX and FXX stuff is on Hulu. Like,
Right.
me and Mason
Just separate
watch,
categories,
but occasionally we'll watch an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which
Yes.
I've not watched as a whole, but like he'll just like, you need to watch this episode.
Yeah, it's funny.
And it was something like they got unemployment and they were trying to get on welfare and they couldn't prove that they were a crack addict, so they got addicted to crack.
yes.
And it's like, this is on TV.
Yes.
This is fucking crazy. And I could imagine Disney them being like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot of-
I can feel
there's a-
differentiate. Also, like parental control of like.
I
what
think
content.
that's what it is. If this is a kid's account, you're not going to see anything other than, princesses and Star Wars.
I think corporates in general just don't fucking want to believe that consumer fatigue is a thing.
There's also a lot of curious moves being made by them in the sense of like the fact that there's not that I would buy it because I wouldn't, but the fact that there's not a Mandalorian DVD box set is shocking.
They haven't
to me.
put any of that stuff out on
Agreed.
physical media.
Even to include Clone Wars, the final season, But they have, I think.
So I know a lot of it came out because I at some point had the first couple seasons.
Yeah, that other stuff was before it became Lucasfilm, but now, I mean, before it became Disney, but now that it's Disney, Disney's put out the original trilogy, I mean, the Star Wars saga movies, like multiple times now.
A lot.
But they've not put out any of their own stuff, which I guess they're trying to keep it exclusive to Disney Plus. But it seems like if there's a financial issue, which it seems like perhaps there is, not only will you get the casual, but you're also going to get the collector.
Are there a lot of people that's still buying physical media? I don't know. That's
I think a lot of I think people still collect stuff that they're passionate about. So like if it's Star Wars, they'll buy it. Marvel, they'll buy it. DC, DC maybe even not so much anymore.
I don't know what the cost benefits.
Like Snyder Cut came out on Blu-ray, 4K, et cetera, everything because the collectors bought it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like it must cost something for them to design and manufacture what the discs and stuff.
If they put out Mandalorian on Blu-ray and put fucking Baby Yoda's face on the cover, it's selling.
It's selling. Yeah. People all over what'd you give me for Christmas? Oh, that thing I liked 4 years ago. Cool.
Yeah. I guess it's like the money, they have to be calculating back, and the money they will make from that versus keeping people having to subscribe to be able to watch.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing.
Did you see the Arnold trailer?
No.
Okay, let's watch it real quick. All right, so
I'm gonna watch it.
Am I wrong in saying that this is the best Netflix trailer that's ever been made?
Possibly.
It definitely isn't. And I'll tell you, I enjoy, and I don't know what the format. I enjoy a voiceover from the person the story's about, telling the
Yes,
it's showing him working out as a kid and all that. I enjoy that if that's how it's laid out.
It looks great.
Yes,
it does look good.
Do it now.
It's on Netflix though.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's ways around it.
There's ways around.
No, I mean, like for instance, like if there's something that I want to see or I'm curious about, like I'll find a way. Like I watched the Dahmer series.
You have months of.
I know, but the only thing
saving
we're probably gonna do it for summer because when the kids will be home, we can really take advantage of it. But like I watched the whole Dahmer series. Somebody at work had it, and I, you know what I mean, just watched it. But like, I'm excited. I'm excited about that. I'll watch this.
It looks good to me.
Arnold's a good dude, man.
I mean, he's done a lot of shit.
Yeah,
like like people can love him and hate him. He accomplished a lot in one lifetime.
Yeah, for sure. I'm fucking mad at him and then work at Sears. That's hate. So let's see. There was something I feel like I wanted to talk about before we. Oh yes. Before we get into questions, I got sent a TikTok video this week, Christopher.
Yeah.
That wow. Summed up my feelings about episode 9.
Okay.
And I want to play it real quick, which will probably result in my shit being demonetized, but that's okay.
Are we ever monetized? I have no idea how that shit works.
That will be 10 cents I'll really regret.
Burn.
But here we go. Pretty good, I think.
Let's take a look at all the shitty retcons in this movie. Number 1, Snoke dies, setting Kylo Ren up to be the true villain of this franchise. Gotcha! Palpatine's back. He's the real bad guy. Anakin Skywalker's entire redemption arc was based around killing Monster Mash, and he fucking failed at it. What an idiot. Number 2, you thought Snoke was nobody. Gotcha! He's a fucking clone. Deal with it. We got a million Snokes for some reason. I don't know why they need more than one, but they got him. Number 3, Rey's parents are nobodies, filthy junk traders. Wrong! Gotcha! Her parents were. She's got a magic grandpa. Everybody with Star Wars powers has a magic grandpa. Remember the magic cave where she went looking for the source of her powers and found only herself? You! Palpatine was right off screen, you idiot. You should have seen him. Number 4, Kylo Ren is done pretending to be Darth Vader. He's his own man now. Gotcha! The helmet is back! Motherfucker gonna get a space monkey to fix the helmet. Vader 2.0 right here. I don't want to kill the past anymore. I want my mask back. Give me back my mask. Number 5, well, Kylo's mask, that's not important. We still have the scene where Luke Skywalker's lightsaber breaks in half. That represents the theme of destroying the past. Gotcha! The lightsaber's fine. And if somebody fixed it, maybe the slug. Who cares? Don't kill the past. We're done with that theme. This movie's about killing your grandpa. That's what's important now.
It's
Number
fucking
6,
true.
Rose and Finn, they're kissy-facing, they're in love. Gotcha! J.J. Abrams does not like interracial romance. Black guy gets a black girlfriend. We can't cross the races.
Fucking true.
No more kisses for Rose. She gets a nice friendly pat on the shoulder. Thanks for helping out, sport. Now go f*** off in the background where no one can see you. Let's blur you out. There we go.
Oh, shit.
Number 7, Luke Skywalker has abandoned the way of the sword. He's a pacifist now, fights with his mind. Gotcha! He loves laser swords. Don't forget your laser swords. Laser swords are the most important thing. You get 2 of them. 2 laser swords.
Fucking true.
Number 8, the Holdo maneuver. anybody with a spaceship now can blow up anything. Gotcha! It's a 1 in a million shot, whatever that means.
We need to put some holdo maneuvers. Do some real damage.
Come on, that move is 1 in a million.
We've got interstellar travel, but nobody has time to crunch the numbers on how to replicate the most devastating weapon ever seen in this universe. We can't do it again for some reason. Whatever. Number 9, Luke's confusing sacrifice apparently inspires a new generation of heroes. Like, you see this kid as the Force. You know, so I guess the next movie we'll probably see some new Force users, or maybe some of Luke's old Jedi students will show back up. Gotcha! No, it's just 3 people get to have magic powers. Nobody
It's fucking
else,
true.
I guess, has powers now, but only the power to sense what spaceship has its navigational beacon active.
The nav signal is coming from that command ship.
How do you know?
Feeling.
That is a terrible power. How does the Force know what spaceships are doing? Oh, whatever. Number 10, Luke says he's not going to be the last Jedi, heavily implying that Rey will revive the Jedi Order. She's probably going to open her own Jedi Academy, train the next generation of... No! Gotcha! She's the last Jedi! No more Jedi! Okay, the movie doesn't end with her like, I'm going to go train more Jedi. She says, no, my name's Rey Skywalker. For some reason, Star Wars are all over. No more Star Wars. Gonna go get a beer. Maybe Finn will be a Jedi and he can train other Jedi how to figure out which spaceships are turned on. What the hell?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I saw that same video. That's
But you know, people who, I think there's a certain group of people who, instead of seeing all those faults, would say that all those faults were set up erroneously in 8 instead.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those are canceling 8, and people hate fucking 8.
Yeah.
So they're like, it's 8's fault for putting those things in the air in the first place.
But 8's the only one that tried to move that story forward. You know, like, I think 7 does a decent job of introducing the characters in the world and
as
everything.
a setup. Yeah.
You know, it's just that, like, you know,
I don't care if you fucking hate 8. You can't fucking defend 9.
Yeah.
It's fucking the worst fanfic movie ever.
So then moving on to questions. This is from E. And I meant to read this last week, but I actually responded to this, and as a result, it left it left it red. What up, Nerd Ragers? First off, many thanks for getting me through some rough times. I discovered Bobby's channel around 2018 after my wife and I split up. I moved back with nothing and started over. I wanted something to keep my mind occupied, and that was starting a new Transformers collection. It's a weird choice, but hey, if it worked, it worked. Be in mind, I'm not a completionist or anything. I just like who I like. Decepticons, the oddball teams of them. Long story short, I found Bobby's channel and reviews and related because of how real he was. Much respect, no bullshit. Fast forward a few years, I'm back on my feet. Life is hard, no complaints. Just found someone special, all that good stuff. My special someone lost her battle with depression and took her own life the other night.
Man, I'm sorry to hear.
I don't know yet really how to process this. I've been deep diving on the European releases of G2 Transformer Predator jets. Once again, weird choice, but I'm not going to knock it if it works.
Well, whatever works, man.
I love that color scheme. Reminds me of my childhood, better times. Give me third-party figures of those guys, I'm all in. I don't really know where I'm going with this, just reaching out because there's no one I really want to talk to. So many people are going through the ringer. I wish I could just take all their pain and grief and suffering and just endure it all for them so they could be happy. Thank you all for the laughs in this podcast. I love all you guys and feel like I know each and every one of you personally. Wine and Cheese has been my favorite of mine lately. If you're a parent out there listening, I highly recommend. Bobby Boogie Bop is legit. You should have an episode on bands that use Transformers as a platform. The old Erie, Pennsylvania hardcore band Shockwave. You'd love it. So we are going to do a Transformers episode. I don't know if it's going to be this new year or next new year, but it's on the list. Anywho's, thank you for letting me vent and get this out. Thank you for all the hard work you guys do. Much appreciated. Shout out to everyone. Reach out. Tell your homies, partners, wives, husbands, etc., and kids that you love them. Rise of the Beast looks like a bust. Toy collectors are pretentious assholes. Stage dives and high fives. Peace out.
Right on, man. Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
It's a rough go of it.
On that note, I bought tickets this past week to go see Cybertron. No, to see Cybertronic Spree with Stan Bush.
Yeah, I saw that was.
Yeah, I'm going to go see Stan Bush, and I actually.
Why?
You know who Stan Bush is?
Yes, but when? Why? What?
Oh,
they're
it's
okay.
No, it's at
Madison Square
RetroCon.
Oh, RetroCon.
Yeah, outside Philly in I think September.
They usually do RetroCon.
They do. It's one of their stops, but the fact that Stan Bush
going to that.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know you're a fan.
Well, it's huh? Stan Bush, the Transformers soundtrack.
I know,
dude. Come on.
You have to pay me to go somewhere to watch him. I just wondering.
Yeah,
I didn't know how many fans there were of Stan Bush to watch the show. Is all.
I'm sure it'll fill this little bar.
Are you going?
Yeah, it's not a big venue.
Okay, it's not like Ramset Live or some shit.
No.
Your face, Bobby.
I mean,
when you say a show, you bought tickets to a show. I'm thinking.
I've never been before, and a lot of the other guys from the realm have gone before and have enjoyed it. And I'm like, well, I've never gone to see Cybertronic Spree, and I'm like, what? And Stan Bush? I'm like, this is my opportunity.
There you go.
When do I ever get to see Stan Bush perform live, and maybe get him to sign my CD that I actually have?
CD's nuts.
Actually, still have my Transformers soundtrack on CD.
Got it.
Yeah, that's right. CDs and tapes.
Yeah. I probably have this thing about seeing people outside of their prime. Ever since I
to speak.
Ever since I
sad for me.
Ever since I saw Manson outside of his prime, I was just like, I can't do this ever again. But if I was off, I would go to RetroCon to go to the show. If I was off, I don't know if I am.
Speaking about the Prime, fucking Aerosmith is having a tour.
I think it's their final tour. I mean, the Rolling Stones still tour.
50 Cent is having a final tour off.
I saw that as well.
What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, dude, it sucks, man. Sucks about your fucking hardships. Thoughts of praise. The reason why I responded back to him just to kind of give him some words of encouragement because it just was such a fucking bummer.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's taking it pretty well,
Yeah.
All things considering.
So endure. Sucks. Let's see. We have Joseph H. He says, potential topic for the crew. Long-time listener, first-time caller, so to speak. Topic of discussion you might find interesting, and I'm hoping that Chris can relate. First, in North Carolina, where I'm from, growing up in the small town of North Wilkesboro, known for the start of NASCAR and not much else. Well, hold on just a second, sir.
That's a flex.
School experiences had some particular specific to them. For instance, in elementary school, we took a class field trip to our town's courthouse and gazed upon the tree outside the local folk hero Daniel Boone was hung from. Jesus, what the fuck?
Hello?
Luckily, since then, God smited that abomination by striking it with lightning 3 times. But the cherry on top came when we learned hunter education in PE. The end of the course culminated in the local sheriff's department bringing shotguns to our school in order for us as a class to shoot skeet on the school football field.
This sounds like amazing times.
You got 5 tries and needed 3 hits for an A. Yikes. That's me saying yikes, by the way. Yes, our marksmanship was graded. While I may be getting long in the tooth, this was still circa 2001. Looking back, did any of you have sanctioned activities or lessons specific to your area that would be seen today as ludicrous or bizarre? Thanks for all the content and laughs. Joseph H., now in Richmond, VA. P.S. Totally unrelated, but I run a small Etsy shop that features movie and game-related posters. If you or the crew ever want anything, just hit me up, and I will send it your way. My gift for all that you guys provide. I will forward that on to the group chat right now.
Thank you, man. Let me think here.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that's necessarily bad, but there's definitely growing up in this area. You go to Washington Monument all the time. You go to fucking, Smithsonian, Lincoln Memorial. Like you do all the history. I mean, it's fucking right with history. You go to Fort McHenry. You go to all this shit all the time.
Fort Armistead.
You know, well, Chris and I went.
Yeah, that's
briefly.
Who's the janitor? Who's the groundskeeper of that place?
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
Whoever it is he's working with he's working on his knees. I can tell you that much. Hands and knees. You know what I mean?
Knees. I will say I know I wasn't in ROTC in high school, but they had a shooting range at the school, like behind the softball field. I'm trying to think of anything just ignorant from.
Yeah, I can't think of
high
anything.
School, nothing
ignorant.
comes to mind. I mean, the shotguns on the football
That's
field.
crazy.
That in 2001 of all time.
I was at 1980 something, even early 90s.
That was after Columbine, right? So
yeah,
that's wow.
That's surprising.
It is surprising. I'm just thinking of anything.
Yeah,
nothing in school. I mean, I won a ribbon at a county fair one time.
Like a blue ribbon?
Yeah, for showing a cow.
No, really?
So my buddy had 2 show cows, And
Flex.
And he brought
show cows.
And he brought them to this, and I had just gone with him. And all these kids were done up in their Garth Brooks shirts and boots. I remember I had on Sebagos with no socks and shorts and a t-shirt. And he showed me like you just kind of like lead the cow and you like put a stick to where its foot so they can look at its feet. And I won like that category I was in. I beat these Garth Brooks kids, and I felt really bad. I'm like, this is like what you do, and I just showed up and won a blue ribbon
On a humble.
on the low.
Back to the farm.
I don't know.
Good job. I think you missed a calling.
No, I didn't.
Maybe.
No, I definitely
Could have been one of those guys.
Yeah, I can't think of nothing else. It was all history shit and all, relating to 76.
I have no idea what regular school is.
So I'm sure we went to the Space and Rocket Center because it was right there.
Yeah, we went to space, air and space.
You went to space?
Wow. Yeah. And
In a Fiero?
And we also often went to what's that? The planetarium? Is that what it's called? Where
Yes.
it's we often went there too.
With planets and shit.
You look up at the stars in this room. It's like a domed room.
Yeah,
And they show you
a telescope too, a giant telescope.
Well, and they show you the constellations. And they're like, this is a guy riding a horse. I'm like, that looks nothing like a guy riding. That looks like 6 random ass stars.
Yeah, none of the fucking constellation looks right.
You have to use your caveman imagination.
Yeah, I guess so.
But for the I think first time in my life, my common name is not the same anymore. It used to be everyone calls me Joe. If select people call me Joey, you guys this group of people is only people who calls me Joe now. I'm Joey every fucking where else, including work.
Wow,
it's weird. Can you imagine if your name just changes? Not like people just start calling you Bob instead of Bobby.
So what's funny is I call you Joseph sometimes because I think it's
funny. Yeah, because
it sounds funny.
Yeah.
Like when you're like, well, I'll tell you something, Joseph. Like it just sounds funny to say it. But I started calling you back in the day, Joey, just because it's natural for me to want to Y somebody's name out. But then I noticed that Krista called you Joey, and then I was like, oh, that might be like
that. So I kind of thought that was like your,
and I stayed away from it.
It was. And my mom called me, and my mom and Krista. Oh, it's always ladies in my life that calls me Joey, but now everybody calls me Joey.
Yeah, I'm the opposite of because I'm Bobby, but whenever I meet adults, they want to bob the shit out of me, so to speak. So to speak. But I'm the opposite. I'm like Mike. Oh, you're Mikey now. You're Nick. Oh, you're Nicky now. I'm always putting a Y at the end of somebody's name.
I mean, anyone who calls me Joey, who used to call me Joe, is fine. Because I even start signing shit Joey. I'm like, huh.
Oh, I didn't mean to put that Y there.
You just identify something different. Are
you Joey from another dimension? And y'all swap?
It could be. You never know.
Like your scar be on the other arm, and we're like, wait a minute, is this the same Joe?
My dick swings to the other side.
That's right.
I actually was it was brought to my attention when during a Wine and Cheese episode, there's this guy James who helps out with my Discord on Patreon. Like he's manned it up himself, so to speak.
Hey.
I don't know shit about it, so he's and
I'm not even in there.
And I called him talking about on Wine and Cheese, I called him Jimmy, just out of my natural way, and my wife was like, I don't think he's a Jimmy, because he seems a pretty squared away dude, and I was like, you're probably right. And then it occurred to me, I was like, fuck, I just bobbed him. And then it made me think about other people's feelings and shit, and so now I try to be more cognizant of it, but sometimes for the sake of a laugh and sonically I'll call you Christopher,
sure.
Just for the sake of it.
I go by KP in a lot of professional situations because there's so many people named Chris. Like which Chris you talking about?
That's actually one of the reasons I've enjoyed being Joey nowadays, because there's a lot of fucking Joes.
So we have the company I work for, there's about 60 of us on our team total nation between US and Canada, and I think there's 6 Chris's, male and female, spelled both ways, and then there's I think there's 5 or 6 Kevins now too. It's like, geez, y'all gotta spread this out a little bit.
Oh, we're talking about names last week, man. Fucking nothing wrong with picking out a different name, bro.
Dude, I get that shit out of here. Apple.
That's right.
I listened back to that shit. It should irritated me.
Doorknob.
What was I? There was something I was going to say.
This made me think of this. You said bobbing. Think about how gross the fact that we used to go to carnivals and do bobbing for apples.
Oh, I know.
Think about that.
I never did it either.
I never did it either, but I was just
People did it,
it's
though.
gross.
Nasty.
I'm going to take a big old sip of...
How did we not get COVID back then? How did we not have some fucking pandemic from a fucking circus?
Yeah. There was something else I was going to say about those names things, but...
Megatron.
But it is interesting how quickly somebody can own your name, or and I did it. I've done it. I'm guilty of it. But so I know where I was going to go. But I'll introduce somebody as Bobby, and then they will just immediately say, "Nice to meet you, Bob." And I'm like, man, you just heard it. Just took it upon yourself to reinvent my name, which I find strange. There's a guy who I work with, DJ, who and he's an awesome dude. But he'll if he calls me, sometimes he'll be like, "Good morning, Robert." And I say, "Oh, well, good morning, Daniel," and he hates it, And then he'll call me Bob. Sometimes I'll call him Dan. He hates it. So anyway, more questions. Paul C. What is something you are oddly particular about?
Wow.
This may not be. We may not have enough time. This can relate to any facet of your life, not necessarily something nerdy, though it certainly could be. Do you only use a specific brand of modeling paint? Do you only read comic books in one specific chair? Do you only eat chunky peanut butter? We only put a specific brand of ketchup on your steak. Yes, that's true. Heinz. We only ship things via EMS when coming from Japan, et cetera, et cetera. I would say that I'm pretty particular about everything in my life.
Yeah, a lot of things. Like light switches. You know how sometimes in the hallway there's two light switch, it's anywhere in the house there's two light switch that works on the same light, right? So like the switch can be up or down for the lights to be on. Right, it has to be down. If it's off, switch has to be down. If it's on, switch has to be up. I don't want to see no two switch up and the fucking lights be off.
You also need the volume on your TV to be an even number.
Well, it's not just TV. It's just things in general have to be either even numbers or
odd.
No.
That's the other side of it.
Or in fives.
Oh, okay.
Things that make sense to me. It can't be no fucking random ass prime number like 11.
Okay. It's everything.
It fucks me up. It really I get angry.
I'm only creamy peanut butter.
Yeah.
And
not only.
I only eat Jif with the exception of peanut butter cookies where I prefer Skippy.
That's very brand specific.
Yeah, I'm particular about all of it.
Every aspect.
I'm probably the polar opposite. I mean, there's some things that I'm like, before I go to bed, I have to touch the door, every door in my house. Like I have to physically touch it, or I'll have to get up out of bed.
That before.
That's like the big thing for me. And I'll tell you, my boss was riding with me in our Volkswagen, and the radio knob is also the knob to turn the volume up is also the power knob, but the the symbol for power is aligned with the circle.
Yeah.
Yes,
that moves with the knob, and it he pointed it out to me, and now it drives me nuts. So I'm always adjusting it back, and I use the controls on the steering wheel so it's the same.
Yes.
And he and I have this little gag where, if he rents a car for work and it's a Volkswagen, he'll take a picture of the knob. I'm like, drives me nuts. But
I was going to say something else too about fucking. I mean, but it's every. I'm like, I eat pretty much at regimented times. Like almost, wait for the click of the clock to turn to that time. Like I won't eat lunch at 11:59. Like I'll eat at noon. As long as something.
You're late, by the way.
Nerve rage actually fucks it up. Which is why usually I'm starving when I go upstairs. I have like a chip or something, but even how I get up out of bed and the amount of times I snooze an alarm clock, and it's probably OCD. To some extent.
Definitely is.
Fucking sure.
It's every little facet is ironed out because I thrive on structure.
It's silly, the way I fold washcloths a particular way, and I'll even refold a washcloth because I'm like, it drives me nuts in my head. I'm like, nobody gives a shit. It doesn't matter, but you did it wrong, so do it again. Just the silliest little things.
I mean, that's the shit that holds me up from my hobbies is when I get hung up on shit like that.
And I could go on about this topic literally all day. Astartes Pete. He says,
I gotta say it like that, make that face.
Remember the 40K?
Yes, I know, but you just.
Hello, lovely boys. I hope. Hello yourself there, sir. I hope this finds you well. I've got several team/work events to look forward to in the next coming weeks, with all the usual bullshit that goes with them, including the classic introduce yourself and tell us an interesting fact about you. One thing I wanted to interrupt with real quick. Talking about how, like you said, you're not really a particular person. Kind of. My wife and I did on Wine and Cheese. It was one question that we asked to each other. It was like, if you could change one thing about the other person, what would it be? And we did physical and then we did personality.
Okay.
And for personality, her response for me was, I wish you could just fucking go with the flow.
Right. That's fair.
That makes sense.
Anyway, he says, my low effort get out is I've signed the UK's Official Secrets Act. A minor flex as I'm ex-armed forces. I'll give you one. To spread the suffering, what are some interesting facts about you? Peace and love. Well, I have a black belt in Taekwondo. Pretty interesting.
I have an ex-wife whose kid is now in foster care.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Wow.
I just found out recently.
I'm an Eagle Scout.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It makes sense though.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
How are you in knots and shit? You all right?
I mean, I could throw you a bow line real quick.
So
The rabbit goes up the hole around the tree and back in the hole.
So hey, actually, you want to know an interesting fact about me?
Sure.
I can probably tie a bowling knot faster than anybody you've ever met in your life.
I believe it.
I'm incredibly fast at it. I'm going to do it. It's not a no. Stop it. I do this. It's technically reversed, but it still acts the same and responds the same. And you wouldn't be able to tie a safety to it too well necessarily, but it'll still work.
I mean, the wrestling thing is always something I tell people. Like, I was a professional wrestler. I ran a wrestling promotion.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's enough right there. I don't get a lot of questions till later, you know. If I have to say, introduce yourself.
I've worked for the federal, state, and county government.
Wow. I'm from Alabama,
which is not too uncommon in this state.
It is in here.
To be fair. I've worked. Or I was going to say there was another thing that I was going to I've hosted rap battles. Like, I was involved in the underground music scene in Baltimore and opened up nightclubs and everything else under that, which was like a part of my life I've never really talked about anywhere, but was super involved in it.
Oh shoot, I just had one and I lost it. Damn it. Oh, I sold a vintage toy to a member of NSYNC one time.
What?
Did you really?
I didn't know that.
So when I was it was right before actually all this happened and moving up here, there was a pop culture thing. It's turned into a pretty big event in Huntsville. But they bring in people. Like Joey Fatone was there to sign autographs, and I had I had a row. You guys know what a row gun is? It was a transforming toy that it was like a cap gun, and it basically just its arms folded down from being the barrel, and you turned its head around, and that was it. Anyways, he bought that for me. He told Mason to stay in school.
Yeah, picture all of
No, I didn't, because he was charging for that shit, and I always feel weird.
Oh,
right?
First time I ever got my ass kicked. The fight opened up. It was very slow starting, like a lot of like circling.
Yeah.
And I did a Hadouken as a joke to make the crowd laugh, which they did. And then he beat my ass. He beat
At least you got the laugh off.
Yeah, he beat the brakes off me.
I once got, in middle school, I got body slammed by a girl whose family was in the circus. This is a legit story.
Wow.
Like, they were legit carnies, and they had... Like they had done this the winter where we lived.
They tried to get you on as the tallest man?
No, I wasn't the tallest man. I was Joe Average at that point.
All right, last question. From Willie Whammo.
Willie.
More hot takes. Howdy, lads. Here's more of my wildly unpopular hot takes.
Love it.
Batman and Robin is a good movie as long as it isn't taken too seriously.
No.
False.
I mean, even from me, and like I can enjoy a bad movie.
And actually, I meant to say Batman and Robin instead of Batman Forever earlier with Bane.
Yes.
It's all
I knew what we were talking about, though.
Yeah. Casey Jones from Turtles is wildly underrated and should be in more TMNT media. It depends.
I don't keep up with enough of that to know.
It depends. He's great in the cartoon, the original cartoon,
Yeah.
and he's great in that first live action movie.
Yes. I could see him use
I never even looked at another dude. The original Star Trek, and I always think about him eating that apple on that porch. He was the most aggressive apple eating I've ever seen in a movie. Fucking, they're all sad. Their fucking buddy's laid up in a coma, and here he is just chowing down like he didn't have a care in the world.
You gotta eat.
Fucking have some class. Fucking Casey Jones, put some pants on. Fucking idiot.
Dirty sweatpants.
Shaking hands is plain weird. Bowing is more fun. So bowing is definitely weird.
That's weird. That's fucks. Even from an Asian person like myself.
But so is shaking hands. Shaking hands, it can be an awkward thing.
Yeah. Well, it depends, because sometimes people don't know how to shake hands, and I become awkward when you give me like the soft limp hand shit.
Yeah,
When they're
or it's like, because the truth is, I either want to give you a pound or I don't want to shake your hand at all. That's the truth. Like when if you're selling me a house, fine, we'll shake hands. If you're getting me out of fucking jail in court, fine, we'll shake hands. But other than that, like, I don't really want to shake hands.
I don't want to touch people
Unless I give you a pound, which is like, it's more endearing. There's more of a love there, an exchange of
I shake
emotion.
a lot of hands in a business.
because you're a businessman.
Because I'm a businessman, and I'm also a business man.
And he says, I stand with standing standers.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Ugh,
That's
weird.
what's up. I'm
touch
glad to see the younger generation is embracing the
I'm gonna look at your parents weird. Like, they didn't teach you right.
techniques.
Still my favorite line from that is, I don't stand alone.
That's right.
And there was something else. What was I going to say about?
Hey, I got techniques dripping out of my butt cheeks. I stand up so I don't get shit on my sheets.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And
I think about that literally every time I take a shit and stand up to wipe. I'm like, these motherfuckers. Speaking of which, side note, the toilet in my parents' basement, I swear to God, is something you find in kindergarten. It's a struggle for me. I feel like I'm going to topple off of it.
Wobble off of it.
The funny
like ice cream cone.
Yep,
with
yep.
big ice cream on top.
The interesting thing about that wiping conversation is it is slightly more sophisticated than it appears, because what it really is this thing that everyone does for the most part in 100% privacy for their whole life.
Right.
So they expect it to be a standard until you find out it's not.
A standard.
Got him!
All right. So if you want to send us a email,
You can email us at nerdragemail@gmail.com.
and shout out to the rest of the cool table. As far as I'm concerned, if you listen to this, you're part of it. And shout out to the rest of the Nerve Rage team. Raul, who I've hit up twice and I haven't heard back from, so I'm starting to get a little concerned. And Phil, Maryland Phil, who does our notes and our Twitter, Dante on Facebook, and Ricky Tiki Timber on the videos. And with that,
Flappy labius.
Tasty taint.
tight dick Blair.
Pour for me.